Kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. We Ric Flairing on her. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. Yeah, we Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and fine to these Urkels that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. To the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. We Ric Flairing on her. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kids stealing, wheeling, dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her. We Ric Flairing on her, flaring on her.
DQ, baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids. D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Ric Flairing on him. Ric Flairing on him. Ric Flairing on him. Ric Flair, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, I'm back. Season 2, we here. Next level, bigger and better. Let's go.
See me letting go. I'ma lose control. I'm not afraid to fall. Watch me drink it and feel it all.
8 p.m. Monday night, so you know it's time to tune in to the Afterglow show. Shout out to Kobe and the fam, you rattlers, the football historian. The audience is pouring in at this time like Jackson State playing Grambling. Both hosts like quarterbacks, but ain't scrambling. The Alcorn state of mind that I'm in got me blending in with standing out like tiger skin. Shout out to TSU and all the recruits, turning down big schools for HBCUs. They changed up the scheme, so we changing the scenes. Money for our likeness is nice, but this means we gotta give it all that we got in this game. Black college grad myself, I went to pain. Pick, run, hit, or throw, that's your option. Discussing the coaches, wins, and the losses on the Afterglow.
See me letting go.
Scotty, you went crazy.
I'ma lose control.
Every Monday night at 8,
I'm not
super crazy.
afraid to fall.
Featuring
Watch me
Kofi and your boy
drink it
Scotty.
and feel it all.
You know what time it is?
Go,
Let's,
go,
you heard me. Let's,
go,
season 2.
go.
Enjoy.
What is going on, everybody? Monday night, you already know what it is. It's the Afterglow show. All right, before we get into it today, make sure you listen, man. I shouldn't have to keep repeating myself. Well, go ahead and like the stream. You don't come into somebody's house and don't wipe your feet, so don't come into my stream and don't hit the like button. Come on, man. All right, that's what it is. But you already know what it is. The Afterglow show, and this show will be nothing without my co-host. Come here, boy.
What up, boy? What up, boy? What up, boy?
With you all green today? No, I see you got the orange in the back, but you got the green on though.
I got the green on. I'm working on this here studio thing. I got to step up.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, you know it's better than Hip Hop Harry. You know what I'm saying? You know you all.
You'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. There we go. You wasn't ready.
Oh man, that boy came in like Run DMC. You know,
let's go. That's my era.
And my Adidas. You know.
Listen.
Oh man, how was your weekend, bro?
It was good. You know how Thanksgiving goes and how it rolls, especially when you're with family and friends, and you cook and you eat and you watch football, and then you cook, you put your leftovers in, and you watch some more football. You talk on the phone and say hey to some people, and you watch some more football. So that's what we do.
That's what it. I just finished. I'm still eating some Thanksgiving leftovers. Not by the lady that we went to their house. Now, we're not talking about them leftovers, but we talk about leftovers that my girl cooked. I love me some leftover Thanksgiving food. It touches my soul.
That leftover dressing and mac and cheese. Ooh, yes, sir, boy.
It settles in and it's cold, and you got man, ain't nothing like it. Boy,
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to help the people.
But I like the feng shui going on in the background. You know, got the FAMU jacket and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. You know, it is what it is. But you know what it is. We got that Thanksgiving dub. You know, so I'm always happy when the Cowboys win on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that always messes up a whole lot of people thing right there when the Cowboys don't have a good Thanksgiving. Detroit, it just kind of like be like it's inevitable. Them Negroes finna lose.
Oh, they find a way. They find a way.
But Dallas.
So Ryan, I don't know if you. He said, Kofi, did you hear the 100 slander? So I did the Battle of the Bands review of Southern and Grambling because I went to the Bayou Classic. So they asked me about FAMU marching 100. I said they're not impressive to me. Like there's nothing like because I'm like there. You guys remind me of Atlanta A&T from Drumline. Like you guys like hit on a little flight of the Bumblebee, and Morris Brown reminds me of all the SWAC bands. Like they like to get down because you guys in the stands are whack. Like
when it comes now, here's what I will say. When it comes to stand music, Southern sets the standard. Then everybody else, like Jackson State, changed their whole sound. Everybody else in the SWAC changed their entire sound, practically their uniforms, the whole plume, all of that stuff to be like the S. And that ain't us. So when it comes to stand stuff, the instrumentation, the arrangements, and I would say even as much as a lot of creative chances that Southern takes, I would give them an edge in entertainment in the stands. However, when it comes to field shows, when it comes to innovation and stuff like that,
I'll give that to y'all. Yeah,
FAMU takes that.
At the Orange Blossom Classic like 2 years ago with the basketball at the Orange Blossom, that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know, like, but to me, it's the music for me, and I don't.
No, sometimes we can, you know, just to be honest, you know, we have the best. I believe we have the best overall sound quality. But when you come to a football game, you come to a football game to be entertained. I don't want to hear a bunch of musicality from you know, this ain't class. So just like when you go to a concert, they have the pre-concert music. The DJ's job is to get the crowd hyped. He gets the crowd hyped, gets the crowd in a frenzy. Everybody's ready to do that. The 100 sometimes, goes into educational mode and wants to play a march when they should be playing something a little bit more hype that has something to do with a football game that's going to get the football team hype, that's going to get the crowd. Now, when they get crunk, they get crunk. Like with the Alabama State game at the end, we blocked the punt, blocked the kick, everybody runs down. It was hype. But, you got to do that on a consistent basis. When it comes to stands, they are a work in progress, even though I will say they're not a pushover in the stands at all.
Oh, they're a pushover. And he
not hardly.
That was trash in the stand. Like you guys haven't touched Jackson State in the last 2 OBCs. And
when it comes to stands, I would say that first OBC in the 0 and even the 5th, that was a good battle. Now, this year, when they came out and Jackson State was just playing all them whole notes and stuff as loud as they could, and they just wanted to get crunk, and then we came back with In the Stone, I was like, guys, that was just not the choice. Like, it's not time for, the elements right there. You got to meet, you got to be able to meet and match the temperature, and that's something that literally is a work in progress. But again, at halftime, they put a whole garbage truck on the field and put Jackson State in the trash. So it was kind of like, that's what they do. They took a whole hammer on the field and hammered the BCU on the sideline into, and went for it. So, we're not as predictable. We are a field, we're more geared towards field shows. And that's where we make our name. It's a freaking marching band. It's called the marching band. You make and break your name off of literally your field shows, which is how the band got on 2020, which is how the band got on 60 Minutes, which is how the band got all of the accolades that they got. Right now, I can tell you from a creativity standpoint, the SWAC bands by and large suck when it comes to field shows. They come out there because, let me finish this, because they spend most of their time trying to blow each other out in the stands. They don't even work on their field shows. Then they come out and they do the raggediest stuff you could ever. It's like, dude, come on.
Listen, bro, who cares?
It's a field show.
Nobody cares about your field show. Like, it's great that you have a basketball bouncing and going to a hoop, but you guys suck in the stands.
No, I won't say we suck, but we're a work in progress.
You suck.
We're a work in progress.
We're going to say work in progress.
Just run over us in the stands.
You're a suck.
We don't suck.
You've been ran over for the last 2 Orange Blossom Classics. Ran over.
I don't know about run over now. They just play. I mean, how hard is it to freaking play? Ooh-ah! 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 How hard is it to do that? It is not difficult. Ooh-ah! 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 Don't nobody care about that. I mean, you're playing a half note like an elementary school. We wore y'all out. We just blew y'all out. Get some of this here. Don't nobody care about J State and them raggedy shows. They try.
Oh my God. Boy, you stupid. Oh man. All right, let's get into it. Woo! Boy, that was funny.
I mean, that's what they do. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh man, that's funny. You stupid.
It's like, come on, bro. The degree of difficulty is not there.
Oh,
and then all of them have taken the Southern arrangement and basically copied it. Like, if you go back to a tape back in 89, man. Jackson State's band sounds totally different.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's soulful right there. We got that soul. We make you feel it right there. Watch this here.
Oh, man, that's funny. All right. We go move on before I get a bombardment of calls. Oh, man. All right, listen. Oh, Jesus, that was funny. All right, news to know. Listen. All right, so I know you've heard it. I think everybody in here has heard it. Deion, Colorado. He's on the coach's call today, kind of confirmed what people been hearing. I spoke my piece on it earlier today about how I think Deion is trying to give these white people the okie dokie. How do you feel about the information coming out of 1400 Lynch Street?
Well, I think he's going to stay. I don't see him going to Colorado. I just don't. You're up in the mountains. It's colder weather. It's going to be more difficult to get top-notch recruits to play in a colder weather environment. I think Deion could do it, but I don't see him going. I think it's a bunch of hype surrounding what they do. Surrounding Deion because that's who Deion is, and he's a lightning rod. He's a polarizing figure when it comes to this kind of news, and he's going to be the recipient of this kind of news as long as he's at Jackson State. So, right now I'm kind of like used to it. I think they see that the man has an ability to speak the language of this generation, to attract the kind of recruits that could lift up a program and take it to the next level. He's a high character guy when it comes to speaking about life's issues. He's open, he's transparent. People love it. He ain't going, not Colorado.
Why you say not Colorado?
I just don't see it. It's just a gut feel. I just don't see it, Colorado. Again, here's the thing. It's a Power 5 school. It's an upgrade in pay. But up there in the mountains, could he make it work? Yeah. But Boulder and Deion, it doesn't seem Deion-ish to me. There's not a whole lot of our people there. Could he make it work? Yeah. And just really in addition to that, you're in the Pac-10 where there are a ton of great coaches. So to go up against that every single year, you got Luke Riley at USC. You got Chip Kelly.
No. USC is going to the Big Ten. They're not there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, USC and UCLA be going to the Big Ten next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
Okay. So that leaves the Arizona schools then.
Arizona State has a new coach. Stanford has getting a new coach. Arizona, Oregon, Washington.
Oregon's getting a new coach?
No. I'm just saying like the coaches that are there.
Washington and Washington State.
Washington State, Oregon State, Arizona State. What else? Colorado, so it's not the main blue bloods of the Pac-12 are leaving. You know what I'm saying? So Utah, thank you, Mike. Utah's in there.
Oh, so, Utah's still gonna be there.
Yeah, Utah State.
That's gonna be a tough out. Utah will be a tough out.
So,
but okay. But I don't see him going to Boulder. I don't see that. I just don't. I see if there is an opening between the two, I see him going to South Florida before I see him going to Colorado.
South Florida's already named their coach.
Okay, so there you got it. I don't see him going to Colorado.
Well, I know who their coach is going to be. My bad. I don't think they. One of the guys from South Florida reached out to me and told me to keep it under wraps. From what I'm hearing, it's going to be the guy from Coastal Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. That's a good choice, though.
Yep.
That's a good choice for them. He's a good coach. South Florida is an upgrade over Coastal. Yeah, that's solid. That's a solid pick for them.
Okay. Listen, I think when people get on here and they say things, and a lot of people Georgia Tech is not open anymore. They just hired Willie Frazier from Tulane, so that job is gone too.
Frazier,
yeah, from Tulane. So the thing for me is people get on here and say Dion has money and Dion has this. He doesn't need the money. I don't think when you're talking about a job like Colorado, I don't think it's really about the money. It's really to me about I believe, I'm just gonna speak on my belief. I believe that you get less when you're dealing with low resource institutions and you're dealing with people and you're dealing with all black people, you just kind of get away from the ninja stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think that aspect of, people not wanting to do their job, people, coming up with excuses not to, like, that stuff wears on people, especially when you're trying to bring change. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with all the no's for no reason. I'm
say
like
that. Now you preach.
just no. Oh, oh no. And
You
no.
preach.
And you're like, why not? Oh, because that's not how we do it here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he won't deal with that in Colorado, because there's probably some stuff that Colorado does that we like, bro. We do this what we do. But I just feel I'm not saying white is right. I'm just saying that a lot of headaches that you deal at a HBC level, some of that stuff gets taken away. You know what I'm saying? Having the resources that you need for your players and getting fed and having housing, just little stuff like that just takes a worry off of a coach. So, like, if Dion stays, that's great. If Dion leaves, I can understand why he leaves. Like, that's all I'm saying. To me, it just goes both ways. And that aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he did what he was called to do at Jackson, in my personal opinion. If he
don't do nothing else, he has done more than enough. And I think that he's opened the door, made Jackson State a top-notch job for somebody who wants to get in the game. Like, if Dion leaves, like Ray Lewis wants to get in, I could see Dion saying, hey, my boy Ray could do it, and them really not miss a whole lot of beats with that. Is he Dion? No. But he's somebody that has the star power to be able to continue what Dion has done.
I think you still have to take, I'm talking about this comment. You still have to take accountability for what you have to take accountability for. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, the state makes a problem, but
yeah. And our people, we've got to at least acknowledge the fact. Okay, so we know that the state has been a problem. At what point do we, as a collective group of universities and constituents and supporters, wake up and say, let's confront the system. Let's sue the state. Let's get after it. Let's stop putting people in office that's not going to serve our self-interest or to serve our HBCUs, and that's not fair, to be honest.
I like it. All right. Next up, on Rumors to Know. I saw this and I liked it. I liked it. Now, on top of this, I have heard that Willie's name has came up for the FAU job that opened up with Willie Taggart being fired. So I think he would like to stay in Florida. That's his background, his back. But Tulane's head coach expected to head to Georgia Tech this offseason. Could we see a Courtney try to reunite with Willie out in NOLA? Listen,
absolutely.
I don't think Courtney would say no to that. And I think Courtney is on the table.
Absolutely.
Pounding for it, that he can get his guy out to NOLA with him and they build that connection again. I think it'll be absolutely amazing. So
absolutely. I can see that.
I wanted to give credit to the tweet. I didn't want to take the rumor. I wanted to give credit to the guy who tweeted it because I thought it was a pretty damn good. I was like, damn, that's a very good idea. But at the same time, I think that FAU job definitely should be Willie Simmons should be option number one at FAU, if in my personal opinion. What about you, Kof?
Both of them, they're gonna, I think they should try. If they're not trying, I think they're blind. Courtney already has a relationship with Coach Simmons, so I can see them trying to reach out, definitely, or reaching out to see what needs to happen to get him there. So there you have it. I could definitely see him. I could see him at FAU. I mean, he tried to get, he was up for the job at FIU last year. So FAU is right up the street. FAU is a little bit more difficult job, just from the standpoint of being located in Boca Raton and getting those people to support the program when there's already the Hurricanes, already the Dolphins, already, you know, a bunch of high school football in that area. So building up that fan base would be job one. And connecting with the community is a whole different thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And what's my man's name? That's at the university, that was at the University of Florida, Mississippi State. Mullen is still out there too. So
what about but wasn't Lane Kiffin successful at FAU, Florida Atlantic?
No, but not from a crowd standpoint. They've not drawn what they could have drawn. And that's really the thing. Lane Kiffin is a beast of a coach and, you know, well of a marketer, if you ask me. But in terms of selling out that stadium, they might do it maybe once every blue moon.
So
it's just, you know, it's just a tough market.
If you were Willie's consultant, you would tell him to take what, Tulane or FAU?
It depends on what he wants.
I said you're his consultant.
I'm his consultant.
You're advising him.
I would do Tulane. Tulane has more history. Tulane, you get the access to the Louisiana athletes. You're already connected to Florida. Mm-hmm. It's somewhat of a easier path to be able to do that and connect. He's already connected with Texas. So, and he gets to work, you know, since Courtney's over football operations, it's less of a transition than the FAU. And Tulane has a good base of fans that would get behind the team. Tulane has very tough admission standards, but I mean, he's already used to that at FAMU. So
that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the Week 13 recap of what has been going on in the SWAC. All right, right after this commercial break.
Greetings, I am Naomi Harris, and I am the 83rd Miss Jackson State University. Our proud hair sponsor, iWeave, is donating $60,000 worth of wigs to the American Cancer Society for the Wigs for Winners program this HBCU football season. I am all in for iWeave Wigs for Winners in the American Cancer Society. You be a winner. Let's be cancer together. Show your support by using hashtag Wigs for Winners.
Great thing that Mr. Campbell is doing with iWeave Wigs for Winners. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys go support that and everything like that. Shout out to Mr. Campbell with that. All right, let's get to this Week 13 recap. All right, coming up. Listen, this game was definitely something to talk about, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Listen, I don't think anybody really had much to say about the game, but the score and the result of the game, everybody should be talking about it. Did you have a chance to check it out?
I watched the freaking game.
Talk to me.
And them boys was looking like the Rocket Mortgage Hornets. Look, when they came out, they looked like Rocket Mortgage. Like, we ain't trying to play no game. Let's go and get some turkey, some dressing. And UAPB just flat out wanted to win. You know, they just wanted to win the game. Now, in the second half, Alabama State came out with that fire, you know, and they took the lead. But really, UAPB at the end found up enough courage and mustered up enough energy to come down the field and do a closing drive. Mm-hmm. And it was just one play, really, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, Bama State couldn't, like, this guy's a 4-star QB. And I'm like, he's a who? That's why you can't. all these stars be coming from. I want to know who be rating these people because I haven't seen it. I don't be getting excited over the stars no more. Like people be like, "Oh, he's a 4-5." Be like, bro, I have not seen 4-star play out of this dude. He is fast. He's a dual threat, but he must have been playing against some 1-stars in high school that made him look like no stars in high school that made him look like a 4-star. But his decision making, just the play call surrounding this dude, I'm just like, it was bad, especially that last drive. But I would say this Alabama State came out flat, and I think they thought that UAP was going to roll over, and they didn't.
I think I won't put the last drive on Demetrius Davis because he actually looked really good in the last drive. A lot of receivers dropped passes. I mean, he hit 15 square in his chest, and they would have been in the
now,
red.
that one was a good throw.
Man, good gracious. You know what I'm saying? He dropped it at the end, and it pretty much cost him the game. But once again, Demetrius, it's the first and third quarters for me that he just does not show up. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
I
bad,
understand what's going on with the situation with that.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You know, just the mere fact, I think because it was UAPB, you know, most of the Bama State people that would have come to a Miles game or a Tuskegee game, they weren't interested.
Absolutely.
So the energy, huh?
I said absolutely.
Yeah, so the energy in the stadium that they normally would have gotten from their fans, it just was not there. You know, people was ready to go get some turkey and stuff. It's like, oh, it's just UAPB. And then you got the rest of the raggedy fans that say, oh, is they band coming? Oh, they band ain't coming. I ain't going to the game. So then they don't come, and you know, your team misses out on that energy from you being in the stands. And you could see that very early on. Just they were trying to find a reason to compete, and UAPB brought the energy, and that's why they won.
Yeah, I agree with Joseph David. He said put Tuskegee back in the game. From what I've heard, I think they're scheduled to play for the next 3 or 4 years in the Turkey Day Classic, so it'll go back to that. And listen, man, high school is different than college. I don't care what you talk about, and I know what division you're talking about is 6A Texas. Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, a 5'9", 5'10" quarterback who has a average arm, average accuracy, and is only spectacular with his feet, there is deficiencies there, and you're seeing it. Because if you can't thrive in the SWAC, there's no way you would have thrived at Auburn. There's just no way you could have thrived at Auburn. And they probably would have turned you into a wide receiver. It's not to say that he's not athletic, but for the position that he plays, he does not do well enough at the position. He's a great athlete. You could probably put him at running back. You could probably put him at slot receiver, but to play quarterback is not, I mean, he's not the best, but he has time to grow. But being 5'9" and 5'10" at quarterback is not always the best situation in the world. That's just my personal opinion. But shout out to Kayvon Britton. I mean, he did everything possible to get his to get his team to victory, scored all the touchdowns, had over 200 yards rushing. And I mean, that jump cut that he did for the touchdown, I mean, oh my gosh, that boy different. That boy is absolutely different. Shout out to Kayvon Britton. And we'll see what, and like I said, Raekwon Prince. I like the backup quarterback that came in, who took over for Skylar Perry. Listen, I'm sorry, I cannot wait for UAPB to move on from Skylar Perry. I really can't. Like, I'm so serious, man. Like, I am so serious, Kofi. Like, I cannot wait for them to move on. Like, graduate already, my guy. He got to be like a 7th-year senior. Like, he needs to graduate because, man, they have been. Oh man, they said Prince is what? Raekwon Prince is transferred. Damn, that's tough. But absolutely, yeah, they gotta let that boy go. They gotta get somebody. Jesus Christ. But at the end of the day, you know,
Baby, who is SWAC? Who is SWAC? Oh,
Bruh. And then, watch this.
what's up?
And then the UAPB people came down to the end of the field and took a picture from the I am SWAC sign. Watch this. And it wasn't black people. It was the white people.
It was the white
on the UAPB team that went down and said, I am SWAC.
SWAC.
I am SWAC.
I am SWAC all day. I am SWAC all day. All right. Game of the week. Bayou Classic. Did you watch this game, Cove?
I did.
Listen, from now on, I am calling Calvez baby carrot hand. Like, that boy got some baby carrots for fingers. Like, I don't like, bro, I don't understand it. I first of all, I don't understand Hugh Jackson. I don't understand how baby carrot was dropping the ball all day long. Like, come on, bro. And Southern looks so bad. But go ahead. What was your opinion of the game, Cove?
It was a rivalry game. At first, Grambling came out and looked pretty good. It came down to that fourth quarter, and they turned the ball over twice. They looked undisciplined on offense. Now, did Southern bring the energy? Yeah. But the play calling, in my opinion, for Grambling in the fourth quarter really wasn't conducive to them being able to sustain a drive, which is what they needed to do. And they made a ton of mistakes, and Southern was able to capitalize and win the game.
I've never seen, and I've been saying this for the past 6 weeks. I said Grambling is just snake bitten. I said Grambling is talented, and anybody watch that game, you cannot tell me that Grambling is not a talented team. Mind you, they're only losing 3 seniors. Everybody is coming back. Everybody, Maurice, Linden, Baby Carrot, Chalk, Lamborghini, Noah Bean, everybody on the defense, like Sandana. No, I think Sandana's leaving. But everybody is coming back. But Jesus Christ.
If I'm Hugh in the offseason, I'm really going to hit the pavement to find me the right offensive coordinator for my team.
Come on.
I got to find that. He's going to continue to be able to recruit. He's got pipelines. He's going to be able to bring some people in that's going to solidify the team. But if I'm him, I think defensively, I wouldn't make a whole lot of wholesale changes. But offensively, he's got to find an offensive coordinator that I believe. And that shows me why I think in the beginning when we had that whole scandal with Bryles, what he was looking to do. It would have been interesting to see what that offense would have been like under Bryles, right?
It would have. But I don't know if it would have worked with baby carrots. I don't know. Bro, I can't. How can I have you play the quarterback position when you got baby carrots for fingers?
So
what?
VeggieTales.
Oh, what am I supposed to do with that,
bruh? So, imagine Andrew Body at Graham. Now, I take that back.
I
take it back. I would say get a coordinator first,
and then maybe get
a coordinator.
I agree. Yeah, that's the part. But let me ask you this, Cole. What is your assessment of Hugh Jackson? Because what I'm seeing and what it seems, I'm not seeing the advancement of coaching. Like, I'm not seeing a guy you're like, ooh, man. Like how Willie Simmons was in his bag against against Bethune-Cookman. Everybody was like, yo, that Bama was in his bag. I've never watched a game from Grambling and be like, ooh, Hugh Jackson. Oh, he was coaching his ass. I haven't seen it.
I've seen spurts, against Jackson State. I saw spurts even against FAMU, but I'm not seeing the level of discipline and preparation. He has professional moments. And from a head coaching standpoint, for me, I would have wanted to see a little bit more structure and order, and methodic. I'm gonna say, I want to see him be more methodic and strategic with this play calling. Just some stuff just didn't make sense. For somebody that has as many years as he has it. Maybe it's just the fact that he doesn't have the quarterback that he wants yet. But at the same time, this was a winnable game for Grambling.
Very much so.
And in the fourth quarter where you're supposed to be at your best, they weren't.
This is my thing, though, Cove. At halftime, I believe Chalk's stat was 7 for 115. What in the hell was said at halftime for him to only get one carry the whole second half, and he ends the game with 8 for 120? So it's like that's the thing that's why I'm saying I'm not seeing the coaching, because if I'm seeing the 7-120 at halftime, I'm looking over the stats. Okay, we really killing them. How do I come back and say we're gonna throw the ball with baby carrots? That doesn't make sense to me.
And that's not the game plan with baby carrots. You make baby carrots throw nice little short intermediate routes every once in a while, take a shot deep, and you run the ball and you don't turn the ball over. But if I'm Southern, I want Calvez, baby carrots, to beat me with his arm.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that he can. Not at this stage in his game. And he didn't. And he turned the ball over twice and Southern won the game.
Yeah, that's the part for me. That's like, I'm like, you're the head coach. You're the rudder to this ship. And at no point in time you didn't go to John Simon and said, "What are you doing? Run the dang ball. Like, just hit him with the blind side. Run the dang ball." Like, I didn't understand that. And that, to me, I always hold the accountability on the coaches when they can't rudder the ship, because at the end of the day, it falls on you. So I'm going to hold my—
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You know, when you are in a close game, this is just me, right? When you are in a close game, you do not abandon the freaking run. Mm-hmm. That's the time you don't abandon it. That's the time when you say, you know what? Let's run the rock. Because this game is definitely winnable now. Let's use some time. Let's throw some tight end play in there.
Yeah.
Let's do some short intermediate routes. Let's get the third and short situation so we can continue to move the ball down the field and flip the field if necessary. Put Southern in bad situations or bad field position and make them have to drive the whole length of the field, from an offensive standpoint, because I believe that our defense can do it. In a close game, that is definitely the time when you want to run the ball. Keep the ball on the ground. Make it methodical. This is the game where you start getting— that's the time when you start getting in your opponent's head. We're not supposed to be here, guys. We're not supposed to be here. Yeah. Let's bust them in the mouth, bust them in the chest. Let's open up these holes, and we're going to find a way to win this game. That's what you do.
I think if you would have kept that running, the fourth quarter, they would have been so tired of just getting it. The holes would have been so— but the funny thing is, you threw the ball so much that by the fourth quarter, the defense was reeling. They were getting a second win because they kept stopping you. And then now they're getting turnovers. So now they're getting energy and excitement. The crowd's into it. So it was like a momentum of bad things started happening, of what could go wrong, did go wrong for Grambling. And I once again, I lay it all on Hugh Jackson's feet, because at the end of the day, you should have walked over to John Simon and said, "Yo, stop playing around. Give Chalk the ball. Give Lamborghini the ball, and let's get up out of here with a win," and really mess up, everybody's year. And I think that would have been a great launching point for him going into next year to get that win or whatever. But a lot of people are looking at this as his Deion Sanders spring season, but I think his team was way more talented than Deion's was when he got his, if I'm being a whole buck, you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
that's just how I feel about that. But we'll see going into next year what it looks like. All right, guys, no buy, sell, hold this week. We get right into championship week. You already know what it is. Let me get my music and my soundtrack going. I ain't set it all up right. Yeah, you know, I be busy, man. I be doing too much ripping and running.
What we
All
got,
right.
Rocky?
No. Here we go. Here we go. BoomBox Classic Part 2. Running it back. Let's go. BoomBox Classic Part 2. The rematch is in full effect for the SWAC Championship. If I was Dr. Charles McClellan, I would be on a straight Don King mode of promotion. Do you hear me? Okay, you would catch me on everything. I'll be on all the networks, all the radio stations. Everybody like, you better come on down. BoomBox Classic Part 2. All right, Kofi. What's your
man? So we back at this again.
Here we go. Here we go.
Southern's gonna win this game if Jesus himself comes. All right. All right. All right. Southern University will win this game if they can legitimately run and protect the ball. They can be patient enough to run and protect the ball. That's job one. Job two, they got to get after Shadur and maintain the rushing lane so he doesn't run for 150 yards.
Facts.
They need to be able to do that with discipline and a spot. Create space for their playmakers. Southern has the receivers to do it, but you know, sometimes from a route, a structure standpoint, I would like to see them with a lot more space to work with. That's tough against the secondary, but move them around, put them in the backfield, do something, but create some space for your playmakers.
Absolutely. All right, Jackson State wins if
they show up. Jackson State wins this game.
As Mike Reed would say, if they get off the bus.
If they get off the bus. If they maintain the dominance up front, if they're able to run the ball, it's gonna be very ugly. And if they keep Shadur upright, they won't have any problems winning this game.
I like it, Kof. I like it. All right, for me, Southern wins if. Listen, man. Listen, bro. I'm always going to be on the bandwagon of don't play McCray. All right. Don't play McCray. That's just my personal opinion. And you saw in the Bayou Classic how bad he is. So I mean, it is what it is. All right. Number 2, stay balanced on offense. And number 3, the defensive line plays up to its names. They have some high value names. All right. They need to show up and show out and make it hard and affect Shadur in the mightiest of mighty way. All right. All right. Next, Jackson State wins if Bashaud McCray is under center. If Dooley allows Bashaud McCray to start the whole game. And if Bashaud McCray tries to throw in this game. It's very simple game plan. Very simple game plan to me. Okay, I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's just real. It's just being realistic, and anybody can screenshot that and take it to the bank. Okay, screenshot it and take it to the bank. If Bashaud McCray is under center, if Bashaud McCray starts the whole game, and if Bashaud McCray makes any throws in this game, he has a chance to win. Very simple for me. I mean, I don't need like I don't need all this pontification of I don't need all that. It's just very simple. It's McCray.
Whew.
All right, Kofi.
That was funny.
All right, Kofi. What's your score?
All right, so I got a. I'm being real, bro. Oh God,
I'm being real.
All right, I got Jackson State 24-7.
Okay, I got with McCray 42-10. Okay, without McCray, I got it 24-21. Both situations, Jackson State wins, but the margin of victory Okay, I want to be very clear. The margin of victory comes down in a mighty way. I just want to be good. Listen, y'all can be McCray fans if you want to. All right, and if McCray comes out here and wins, I'll eat crow for the whole rest of the year. I'll eat it for the rest of the year. All right, I will happily take a bowl of crow and eat it. But I've seen enough of McCray to know that is not going to happen. Okay.
Now, here's the thing, right? Because I know Jackson State's going to more than likely, I'll give them a 95% chance to win this game. They're at home. They already beat them 35-0. They know that offense. They don't believe McCray can beat them. Dooley hasn't proven himself to be the play caller that he was rumored to be before he got this job. So, you know, all things are pointing towards a Jackson State victory. Now, after this, please know that North Carolina Central is sitting in the wings with their cameras like this.
Boy, filming.
They watching every little tendency that Jackson State got. They watching all they little play. They watching everything that Jackson State got. NCC is not Southern University by any stretch of the imagination. They're a much more disciplined team. Although they don't have the size up front that Campbell did, they can throw the ball. And they do have the athletes, and they definitely have the special teams prowess to give Jackson State way more problems than what they're looking for. Jackson State, it doesn't play like South Carolina State plays from a physicality standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and, you know, it's not a Buddy Pugh type. This is a very dangerous situation. If I'm Jackson State coming into that Atlanta game, coming into that Celebration Bowl, it will not be a gimme.
Absolutely. All right, I got call lines are open 518-263-8124, 518-263-8124. I got some questions for you, Kofi.
Let's go.
Get to the call lines. And also, listen, if you guys would like to be a part of the Offscript wedding, we have our registry up. You can go to Mr. and Mrs. Script.com and donate, registry, buy something, whatever you want to do. We thank you for all your support. That is the website, Mr. and Mrs. Script.com. And as well as we will be selling wedding tickets to the to some of you subscribers, members first, and then everybody else after that. All right, if anybody has availability. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. All right, some questions for you, Cove. Question number one. If Deion wins the SWAC championship and the rumors are true about accepting the Colorado job after the game, what does that team look like for the Celebration Bowl?
That's a lot of distractions. These guys are going to be looking to, many of them will be looking to get up out and to leave. If that is the case, they'll say that they're focused. They'll give the company line. But the reality is, I've seen it up front with FAMU. When you have that high level distraction like that,
yeah,
it's not good for your team. And these are still young men and wondering about the future, wondering about what's going to happen next. All of that stuff, that's not going to bode well for them because they're playing a very good North Carolina Central team.
But this is why I want to dive into this a little deeper. The reason I say that is because do the players, because if you look at this, okay, do the players start jumping in the transfer portal like a Shador, a Travis, to roll with him to Colorado, or do they go and play the Celebration Bowl of the possible injury? You get what I'm saying? It gets very murky on that.
They'll play the game because, you know, that's the type of team that Deion and the culture of the team demands that they finish the job and finish the drill. But from a mental standpoint, that's a lot on those young men, and they could not possibly be as focused as they need to be going into that game.
All right. And question number two, right? How does Deion Sanders leaving restructure the power in the SWAC? What does this, if he just so happens to go to Colorado, how does the power rankings, like how does the power play go, in your opinion, of the SWAC?
Much of this is dependent on who Jackson State would bring in to be their head coach. If they get a Jerry Mack or Ray Lewis, Jackson State's very much going to be back in the driver's seat, depending on what happens with Shedeur and that sort of thing. But obviously, FAMU would be tops up there because their whole team is returning. And a lot of that also depends on what happens with Willie Simmons as well. But FAMU would be up there. And then you got Alcorn that's going to be right there as well. As well as, there's a lot of questions, bro. Like, Texas Southern, are they going to make any changes with their offensive staff? What's going to happen with that? Grambling, what kind of changes are they going to make? Obviously Cookman ain't going to be number one. And A&M ain't going to be number one. So definitely FAMU would definitely probably end up being the favorite going forward if Deion leaves.
And I would love to see what that structure would look like if Willie Simmons leaves FAM, and then where does that power structure look like if he does decide to go to Tulane or FAU or whatever. What that looks like. Willie might just stay for another year just to get a SWAC championship. He's like, man, I just want to play in one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a brother playing one. I've been having 92 seasons, but like,
look, bro, he does not have. The year that he actually won the MEAC, he didn't win the MEAC because we was on probation. So he does not have a bona fide conference title or any hardware on that level.
Yeah.
So that's something that I know that he wants to get done. It's just interesting. So it is what it is.
All right, let's get to these call lines. Hey, Coach Green, you live.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Man, championship week.
It's J-State week. Southern's not winning that game.
I don't think anybody is betting on Southern to win this game. It's worse than, to me. I think this game is worse than South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl, if I'm being honest.
Dude, didn't I not tell you how hard it is to beat a team twice? Didn't I tell you what happened to us?
It doesn't. I don't care what happened.
You lost by 30.
I don't
care.
The
second time.
This is a duly coached team.
I don't care about. I just saw what you guys look like against Grambling. I don't care. You guys are not
bad
good.
games happen. But
No.
all right.
No, y'all just not a
this
good
is my
team.
question to you, Scotty. This is my question to you, Scotty. You say if they win, you're gonna eat crow. All right. What if McCray played well and the game be close, but they still lose? Would you still eat crow with McKay? McKay throw for like 2 touchdowns, 250, 100 yards rushing.
Would never happen.
I'm just saying, would you eat crow if he play well like that?
That's not even a hypothetical situation. Now I would honestly believe would even happen. So no, I'm not even gonna give you an answer because it won't happen.
All right, 160 then, 160 yards pass. And 100 yards rushing.
Like I said, if he goes 150, 100, because that's what I said against Grambling. If he can do, I think he can do 150, 100. If he plays that type of game, I would somewhat give it to him. I would somewhat give it to him if he can go 150, 100. I think that's a pretty decent game against Jackson State. With his skill set, absolutely.
Because you remember that one game he did play well was the Alcorn game when he actually was like threw it up to the receivers to make plays.
Yeah.
He actually at least tried. He tried their DBs. He didn't try Jackson.
But the second half, he wasn't a factor. The second half, he wasn't a factor. The first half, he did really well. Yeah. But the second half, he kind of withered away.
All right. Now, this is my other question. This is for both of y'all. Did y'all think that's the right move by Delaware State, or should he got another year?
I think he should have got another year.
Absolutely. He improved the team. He made it a nice destination. And the reality is, if I'm Delaware State, who am I going to get to come coach my team?
That's what I'm saying. Who's going
to be the upgrade to come coach that team?
Come on, man.
Over the guy that they have right now.
Got something in mind for them to make that type of move.
They're building a new stadium, but here's the reality of where they are right now with what they just did. the athletes are empowered. It's not like you just make a coaching change and the athletes are like, oh, yeah, we good. We going to stay. We love Delaware State so much. And then they saw their running back leave, go to Jackson State and become somewhat of a star.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So their safety is leaving. The coach just got written. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that's going to be like, the kicker left and went to FAMU. He did good. The running back left and went to Jackson State. He did good. The safety's like, I'm out of here. We don't have the coach or anybody. We don't know who's coming in here. I'm out. It's transfer portal, and then you don't know who's coming. They made a mistake. That was dumb, in my opinion.
So would you, since Scotty always like to talk about it, so Scott, would you go for the celebrity hire or
what celebrity is going to Delaware?
CIAA.
I would definitely go CIAA. But I agree with Kofi. What celebrity is going to want to take a Delaware State job?
Is Rod Woodson or
Rod Woodson ain't going to Delaware
in the XFL.
I know. I'm just saying.
How are you saying something?
He is, getting you some names.
He's in the XFL.
Rod Woodson is not going to Dover, Delaware, where they have a stadium currently that seats 5,000 people. Why would you do that? They don't even have a fan base up there.
I'm just giving a hypothetical.
The hypothetical don't even make sense. Rod Woodson
Ray. All right, what about Ray Lewis?
Why would Ray Lewis take that job? There's no
I'm
connection.
Just saying, hypothetical. I'm just saying, how would you feel about that?
It's no connection for him to go to Delaware State. Now, do I think if he did take the Delaware State job, I think he could probably compete with Delaware if he got the right pieces in place, because that really is your barometer is competing with Delaware. You know what I'm saying? And being on that level. Listen, if a coach really wants to be a head coach that bad, then okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's great, because then you know why Ray Lewis is doing it is he's trying to use it for a stepping stone to become the head coach at Miami.
Yeah. Now, who at the CAA would you go after for Delaware State?
Maybe the Fayetteville State coach. He's been successful for the past few years. I'm not going to. I don't think Chinnisberry will want to take that.
Virginia State,
Virginia Union, like those guys. I mean, I wouldn't mind looking at the D2 level, but honestly, I would look at a Coach Morgan from. Coach Morgan from Langston he would be on my top. If I was a program that was looking to rebuild, Coach Morgan would be in my wheelhouse. But that's not his area. Like he doesn't recruit him. He hasn't recruited him up north. You know what I'm saying? So that's really taking his roots away. You know what I'm saying, from what he knows to go to Delaware. But if you're a good coach, you might find a way to make it work. But there's some coaches out there. What's up?
What about defensive coordinator at Morgan State?
He want to stick in Baltimore.
I don't know about that one. I mean, I know it's not far from his family, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Now, because I feel like this is another coach that that's on the hot seat, but I feel like he deserves another chance for everything they went through. Coach at BCU, how you feel about him?
I've been saying he should have been fired, and I'm going to keep saying he should be fired. I don't care what nobody says.
Even though all the stuff that happened wasn't under his control.
I do not care. He should be fired.
And they haven't made a move. He ain't going nowhere.
I don't care what.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't care.
With all the stuff that went on that he went
Coach
through.
Green.
COVID.
Can you not hear? I don't care. I do not care. He needs to be fired. I do not care. You come over to the SWAC, you suck. You still coaching the SWAC, you suck. Like, what are you talking? You go get Jalen Jones, you suck even more. Like, what are we talking about? You suck. I like Coach Terry Simmons as a person, but he has been sucking in the SWAC.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for y'all today, guys. That's, I just want to hear your opinion on that.
Hey, appreciate it. I like Coach Fobbs. That's a bit. Yeah, Coach. And he's and Coach Fobbs is taking his high school team to the state championship in Ruston, in Louisiana. So that's I gotta say he should have been fired too. I would have loved to see him but I don't think he would have recruited the players that Hugh Jackson currently has anyway. 96 9630. Mr. Lindsay, coming to you. What's up, Mr. Lindsay?
Hey, Scotty Kofi. How are you?
Hey.
What's up?
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hey, can I do something? You know, you and Kofi were doing if Jackson State, what they need to do to win, and if Southern, can I give 3 things or maybe 1 thing?
Go ahead.
Scotty, if you indulge me.
Go ahead.
All right. So Jackson State wins if Southern wins. Southern wins if Jackson State loses, right? That's the way I see it. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does.
But to me, if Southern wins, then Dion stays. He can't go out on losing. His ego won't allow him to. So if Jackson State loses, they win because Dion will possibly stay because of his ego. Does that make sense to you?
No, it doesn't. Not even a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay. You don't think
I
that
get what you're-
Dion,
I
if
get
he
what-
loses the SWAC championship,
No.
he will want to stay?
No, I don't, because it's bigger than a SWAC championship. That's not, if you're a coach, if you have to listen, man, Dion is about Shedeur getting to the NFL, right? And if he has an opportunity to take his son to a Power 5 program, why wouldn't he? It's bigger than Jackson. It has nothing to do with the culture at that point in time. It has everything to do about getting a Sanders back into the NFL. So if he has that opportunity, he's going to take that opportunity, in my personal opinion. So him losing the SWAC championship, yeah, it would sting, but it wouldn't stop him from making the decision like, oh man, I gotta come back now. I gotta reclaim. He been whooping ass for the last 2 years. It'll be his first conference loss.
Gotcha. I just think Shedeur is going to go to the NFL regardless. To me, just based on the network and contact, it doesn't matter if he was playing for Gardner-Webb. You know, he would go to NFL even if it's for a scout team. So I know people will say it sounds this way in my head, but the fact of the matter is I cannot discount the fact that Shedeur is going to go to the NFL no matter what team Dion is on. I mean, do you agree with that?
I'm not going to agree with what I just said. I said if he wants his son to go to a Power 5 to get, let me explain something to you. So I'll say yes to your assumption, right? But if he stays at Jackson, he's probably a 6th-round pick, right? If he goes to Colorado and does what he's been doing at Jackson, he's probably a 2nd or 3rd-round pick. Do you see the difference?
Yeah, I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's the difference. If Shedeur can do what if Shedeur can do half of what he's done at Jackson and Colorado and have a winning program and be competitive, he make the throws he makes and and shows the level of whatever he has, he could be a 2nd or 3rd-round pick, in my opinion. But if he stays at Jackson and he dominates the competition, and you see how bad the quarterbacks are, like, he's probably a 6th-round pick at best. It just is what it is. That's just the nature of the beast, especially when he's not playing up in competition. Now, if Jackson State was scheduling people, like if they was out here scheduling, Montana, SEMO, Southeast Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? Like James Madison, Coastal. Like if they were out here scheduling Bamas and they were taking them down, oh yeah, then Shedeur could be a 3rd or 4th-round pick at the SWAC. But they're not doing that. They're not going to do that. So he has to go play consistent competition at a high level. That just is what it is.
So what do you do about these commits, right? You have I've been tracking those commits coming to Jackson State, and they are a good squad. I'm not, no cap. They are a good squad. So when you go to a Colorado I guess this is what I'm asking. How do you balance the two? So you go to Colorado, you have the money, you have the big time, and then you have the elevated level of recruits, but you have some elevated level of recruits coming to Jackson State and committed right now. What do you think Deion would do to balance that? I know it would say, bring them all, this and this and this, but again, we're talking about ego. Wouldn't that damage his recruiting?
No. No. What? You're upgrading everything. If he goes from Jackson to Colorado, you don't think them kids are going to follow? They're upgrading everything. The resources, the money, NIL, everything is being upgraded if you go to Colorado. So if I was committed at Jackson, if I'm being honest, Deion might drop some of them commits because they can't compete at Power 5 maybe, where he's going. He's like, y'all probably Gooper 5 talent that has dropped down to me, which allows me to be great in the SWAC. But if I go Power 5, some of you guys can't even come with me to Power 5 because you're not on that level. So Mr. Lindsay, please clarify to me, what's the question?
No, you answered it. I mean, maybe my thoughts wasn't getting as fast as my mouth, but you literally answered it. So I'm gonna get off the phone. I was trying to figure it out because in my mind, I was just trying to figure out because I know Colorado is a different school. So then you went in these people's living room and you committed this, and then Colorado may feel like they don't want to offer these people scholarships because you do have a recruiting program. You already have an established program. So I'm thinking to myself, you sat in my son's living room and you said you wanted him, but then you get to Colorado and Colorado say, no, that ain't the caliber of player we want.
Is it not
so
true?
That's what my
Is it not
was.
true though, Mr. Lindsay? Like, you're not looking at it logically. If you're in a job force, right, and you're trying, like, let's say you're the manager over the administrative assistants, right? You're looking for secretaries, right? So you're looking for secretaries. So you go to a lady and you get a couple resumes and they are great secretaries. But in the process of hiring, the boss comes to you and say, hey, man, listen, I like what you're doing. Let's move you up to executive director. And I need you to find an executive assistant. The same people that you were looking at for secretary might not have the qualifications to now be an executive assistant. That doesn't mean you lied. That means the qualifications have gone up. Thank you for the call. You guys got to stop being so damn emotional. Oh my God, you came into my room, you came into my house and told me my son could play for you at Jackson. He could. He was good enough to play at Jackson. But now that the qualifications have gone up at Colorado, I don't know if the same caliber player could play at Colorado. Jesus. Let me get to some other callers. 7878 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
It's me?
Yeah, you live.
Hey, Scotty, man. Appreciate the show. Love the content, brother.
What's good? Thank you, man.
Hey, man, look, yeah, graduated from Jackson State and everything.
Thank you.
But look, this is the thing, though. Who was picked in the 6th round and probably is the GOAT at quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Okay, what's your point?
So let's name a couple of quarterbacks that went in the 1st round and they're not the greatest. Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston.
Let me stop you right there.
Tim Tebow.
Let me stop you right there. Name another 6th round quarterback that's been successful. How about that?
Joe Montana.
I'm not thinking about that because you know I'm black. I believe in the church, so the one is enough for me.
Don't skew your argument. You're skewing your argument. You're gonna pick the outlier.
No, I'm skewing your argument.
No.
I'm skewing your argument.
No, you're not. You're skewing. Listen, the NFL has been around for over 100 years. Name another 6th-round quarterback that has been effective. You don't gotta even be the GOAT. Just effective. Just name me another 6th-round quarterback that has been effective. Because not everybody's going to be a GOAT. That's not how that works.
But we're not even asking for a GOAT. We're asking for somebody that's just going to be good.
That's not what your argument was. You said
no. I'm just saying no. But your argument was earlier was like
that's not what your argument was. If your argument was good, you would have named me other 6th-round quarterbacks other than Tom that were good and effective in the league. So I gave you an out. I then asked you, what other 6th-round quarterbacks?
But you're yelling now. You're yelling now. You're yelling now.
I'm trying to understand.
Who has an NIL deal with Tom Brady?
That has nothing to do.
You muted me. You muted me. You muted me. You muted me. I saw that. You turned me down. You turned me down a little bit. You turned me down a little bit. You're yelling over me. Stephen A.
Where's he talking about?
Dog, like, niggas is so stupid, bro. You can't call in and use an outlier. You can't use it. You're going to use an outlier to hold your whole argument. You're going to use Tom Brady as your outlier to use your whole argument. First of all, my dude, I didn't have to mute you. I didn't have to mute you. Your argument was dumb because you're going to use Tom Brady as an argument. I could respect somebody if they would have came in and said, hey, there's other 6th-rounders that have been effective in the league. That's a great argument. If you would have said, oh, yeah, this 6th-rounder was effective, Scotty. This 6th-round was effective, Scotty. This 6th-round was you can't use Tom Brady as your example. Or who does he come on, bro? That's clown activity, bro. It's clown activity, man. 1296. You live.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty? How you doing? How you doing, Kobe?
What's up?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, so listen, people, like you say, bro, you're right. People got to get out their feelings, bro. It's a business. Recruits get recruited all the time, and they don't end up playing at schools. Or if I go to a certain school, you may not be on the level of this competition where I'm going. Jackson and Colorado is 2 different leagues, 2 different competitive levels. Now, to cue, your debate and what you told the previous caller. Okay, if he's saying that if that was the case to say you could play at Jackson, but you can't play at Colorado, who's to say Shedeur could play at Colorado?
That's fair.
He didn't go to FAU or wherever he was recruited and beat those other guys out. He went to the SWAC, where Jackson State was terrible for 30 years. Now also, you got to think about it. I think that they just posted it on ESPN. That quarterback with the Jets, he was drafted in the 5th round. And he outplayed Zach Wilson, who was took in the 1st round. He played better than him all season.
Yeah, Mike White.
So, I mean, right. So, I mean, and then they found Kurt Warner in the Arena League.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what round you get took. If you could play, you could play. Yeah. But, like you say, they got to stop being so emotional, man. It's just business. I appreciate y'all taking my call, man. Y'all have a good show, man.
No problem, man. Appreciate the call. Like, guys, listen. Me saying Shedeur is a 6th-round pick or a 7th-round pick in the SWAC is not a knock on Shedeur. It's a knock on the competition, right? I just told you, if you move Shedeur to a Power 5 and he does half of what he has done in the SWAC at any Power 5 school, including his name, he's probably a 3rd, 2nd-round pick, late maybe 4th-round pick, right? But doesn't matter where he gets drafted. He still gets an opportunity if he gets drafted. Now, I've been told by somebody that he's not even draftable at this point. I don't agree with that. But, hey, it's to each his own. But you can't call in and talk about, oh, man, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. And it's Tom Brady. Okay, like, what are we talking about? Let me see where we're going here. 7981 coming to you. What's up, caller? You live.
What up, Kofi and Scotty?
Hey.
Hey, man, it's Sean, man. I just wanted to kind of like inform people on how easy it is for Power 5 recruiting. Like, literally. They have private jets. They don't have to book flights. You know what I'm saying? So imagine a top recruit that needs to be seen. Now Jackson State can't provide that. They can't provide him, Coach Prime, a private jet where he can fly all over the United States at ease with no problem and really not worried about no bill and get in the living room of these top 30 or 50 high school players and recruit them harder than what he's already doing. So that's an element to this thing about the jump up to a Power 5 that people have to also consider. And it's just a different budget, a different lifestyle, and a different fulfillment for what he may ultimately want to do on the level that he wants to do it on. Now, you know, if it's about his coaches, then you know what I mean? Like if all these other coaches are getting their coaches paid or these other head coaches are getting paid by other entities, then that's where the alarm got to come in at, and y'all got to stop just being poor people. And it goes back to Scotty's argument about y'all can afford this, that, and the third when y'all want to show up to these games.
Facts.
You know, you got to pay like you weigh, man, and we got to stop being cheap. We want to ask each other for a discount, but if you go in front of the other man, that's not the brother man, you don't ask him for a discount. You pay his price. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, we just got to get stuff together, man. If you want to hold on to something special, you got to pay for it.
It is what it is.
That's all I got.
Appreciate the call, Sean.
All right.
Listen, I don't know what y'all talking about. I've seen some LA. Listen, they might not own a private jet, but they will pay for a private flight. Okay, it's a difference. You might not see a private jet wrapped in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Colorado, you know, whatever. But they will pay for a private whatever to get you to wherever you need to go. So let's not act like they don't have that type of money. Anything you gotta say, Kofi, before I take another caller?
Not on this subject. It's kind of like it's like watching paint dry, but you're good.
All right, let's keep it rolling. 4802 coming to you.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, sir?
I just want to talk about the SWAC championship for a second.
Talk to me.
So, I don't really have much to say about what Southern can do offensively, but defensively, I said something earlier this year on the round table, and you guys dismissed me. But I'm just gonna repeat it again because I went back and looked at all the game summaries because I like to watch drives. I kind of look at drives more so than like the outcome, and it's been held true in most of their games. Most of their scoring drives, Jackson State, I'm talking about, most of their scoring drives are set up by a big play from Sylveon Wilkerson. And I think the only way you're going to stop them is if you don't let them run away from you and break two tackles and go, 10, 15, 20 yards in the drive. If you let them do that, then they're going to beat you passing regardless. So if you can't stop Wilkerson, you can't stop Jackson State. And I think that's the key is Southern's got to get that front seven to really play the run really well, unlike they did last week.
Sir, why would I dismiss you if I would? I've been saying that. I said Shador's the glass, but Sylveon Wilkerson is the stir that stirs the drink. Like I've been saying that for I've said he's the best offensive player on that team since like week 5. So why would I dismiss that point?
Well, it wasn't exactly that I was saying. I was talking about I had said that, but I was more alluding to Bartolone's play calling. And I think that's the part you disagree with. But that wasn't the point. My point is mainly that Southern's got to stop Wilkerson, or else, Wilkerson is 11-0, in my opinion. If you can't stop him, you can't beat him.
I agree. To me, anytime that Jackson State gets stagnant, Wilkerson is the guy.
They're gonna call his number.
You know what I'm saying?
He's the guy. If Shador not playing, If Shador not playing perfect, they're gonna call his number. It's going to Wilkerson 2-3 times in the same, in the same down sequence.
Yeah, he's the one that gets everything kind of rolling, is because you have to start focusing on the run, and then you load the box and you leave one-on-ones, and that's when Shador takes his opportunities. The back.
But I think you got to live with that. I think you got to live with Shador passing because he's going. How they've been calling these games. He's going to get his yards regardless. in my opinion. And if you just go 4 down and play zone, you're making it too easy on them. So you're gonna have to load the box on them. You don't really got a choice because none of us is just that talented on the line of scrimmage to get back there going 4 down. At least I don't think.
I kind of disagree with you because if you look at the Alabama A&M approach, they kind of mixed it up with 3 down linemen, 4 down linemen. You know, like it wasn't just like load the box. It was just like.
Well, that was like the outlier game. When I looked over all that stuff, of course I was looking over it in preparation for us playing them. But that game was weird, so I don't really look at that one. But I agree with your point though.
You know what I'm saying? What other game that I think that Tennessee State was the same type of game? They win a lot of 3 down linemen. Campbell.
Tennessee State, yeah. They did do a lot of 3 down.
Campbell as well did a lot of 3 down linemen. So you got to mix it up, right? So because you want to have people in coverage because you want to stop all that short stuff that Jackson State likes to do, that nickel and diamond you up and down the field, that halfback flare, the slants, the hitches. Like you want to get people underneath those routes because really, if you're being honest, Jackson State really rarely beats you over the top. You know what I'm saying? They might
not much.
Yeah, they'll take their shot with Travis. They'll take their shot with Dallas. They'll take their shot with Willie Gaines. Yeah, but they don't really beat you over the top. It's all that short stuff that they do. So that's where you want to have people underneath of those type of routes.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but I think just from what I've been watching with the drives, I think that's the main thing is like if Wilkerson can set up a drive for him, then they probably gonna score on you. But if you can stop the run and make Shedeur throw you, I think that'll give you the best chance. It ain't really no way to beat them though. Because that's all I got.
I disagree, but appreciate the call. Because if you say there's no way to beat them, Alcorn beats them with a quarterback. If the quarterback doesn't turn over the ball in those situations, that's a winnable game for Alcorn. If Alabama A&M had anybody that could throw the ball, anybody, Jesus, even baby carrots, maybe not baby carrots,
Musa.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody that could have actually thrown the ball, that was a winnable game. So to say they're not beatable, I very much so disagree. These last 3 weeks have really shown you that Jackson State is a very beatable team. They haven't. The thing about Jackson State that always bothers me is they don't get better as the season goes. They've been in both scenarios. They have gotten worse. Last year, they have gotten worse. This year, worse. Go ahead.
Some of that has to do with the fact that the beginning of the year, nobody really has any tape on what you're going to do or what your offense is going to look like, what kind of personnel you have, and how you're going to use them. As the season goes, you have film, you see tendencies, you see a bunch of stuff that wasn't there necessarily in the summertime. So you have an opportunity to game plan and put something together that's formidable. But you still, the main thing from an offensive standpoint is figuring out how do I score points. I think slowing down the Jackson State offense with the way that they do it because, with the short passing game, that's definitely defensible. So you can put them in 3rd and long situations consistently and get pressure on Shedeur. And you have a quarterback that can make plays. They're definitely vulnerable. But you can't give Shedeur the same looks, the same look over and over and over again. It's like a recipe to get killed.
Yeah, it is. And the thing about this game is I think if Southern would go with any other quarterback than number 11, I think it will be a competitive game. I really do believe that because, like I said, it's hard to beat a team twice when you know your deficiencies from the first game. And the biggest deficiency for me when it comes to Southern is the lack of containment. And you saw it during the Grambling game. They do not have a good job. Trey Lane is a little light in the hips. He's light. He's a light DN, so he gets washed a lot. And you see those containments getting broken a lot, and that's how you get the quarterback sneaking out and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if those same things occur against the Southern game. 24-45 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
What's good, Scotty?
What's up?
This is Troy. What's good, Kofi?
Hey.
What's your name?
Troy.
All right, what's up, Troy?
What's good, bro?
Hey,
So I
turn
had
your
a
background
question. I
down.
kind of missed a little bit of the show. Y'all having a great show as always.
Thank you. Turn your background down.
My bad.
No, you're
So good show as always. But so I kind of wanted to pose a question. I posed a question in a group chat that I'm in, and one of the questions was like, if Coach Prime leaves, does Coach Flea take over as the head coach? And then my other question was, do you think Deion really mentioned him being up for the Colorado position to really push the narrative? Because earlier in the season, if you remember, Coach Prime was mad that a lot of the money that the football team generates goes towards the entire school as opposed to just the football program. So is this a push to make sure that a lot more of those funds goes towards the football program so that he can pay his coaches more as opposed to just getting divvied out throughout the school? I'll let y'all boys answer.
I would say no, because the main thing, the reason why he had to answer that question is because there's too much stuff out there. So that's just him being transparent. I think in the negotiation, though, going forward, I think this is an opportunity to renegotiate and possibly get some more money for his assistants, which I think will be a good thing. I think any head coach worth his salt that understands the power of his assistants wants to take advantage of any opportunity to advance the program financially. But I don't think that was necessarily the reason why he said that. I think that, he would have looked like a liar if he said, no, nobody asked me about the job. Nobody, I haven't had any offers. I haven't talked to Colorado, when everybody knows that he's talking to Colorado. It just didn't make sense.
I'm gonna go to the question about the coach. It's funny that you said that, because I talked to somebody earlier today. Shout out to my boy Cam. We had a whole conversation, and he asked me, who will replace Deion? I said it's two things, right? And I'm giving both scenarios, right? These are all hypotheticals. I told him, I said, if APR comes back and bites you guys in the ass, no big coach. And I listen, it's nothing I know. I'm just saying, because I'm thinking APR is coming for you guys. It is like Freddy Krueger behind you guys. It's coming for y'all, in my personal opinion. So if APR comes, you're going to look to a guy in-house, TC Taylor, Vincent Dancy, guys that love Jackson State and want to get Jackson State an opportunity to come and build them back up if APR comes back to bite y'all in the ass. If APR does not, first of all, Cadillac Williams is not leaving an Auburn job where he gets paid the head coaching price at Jackson State to deal with y'all foolishness. So miss me with that. All right. I think you go out and find somebody that who might be interested in the job. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I mean, I don't know who's on the short list or whatever for the job, but I still think I think Flea is part of that. I think TC Taylor will be in that mix, and I think Vincent Dancy. I think that would be the short list for Jackson State if no celebrity comes within a range of Jackson State. I think those would be your top three guys. So, let me go. Let me see. 44-58 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Sky? What's up, Kofi? It's JT Cole from Chucktown, South Carolina.
What's up, Jack?
I want to go back to y'all talked about sort of the structure of the SWAC, and kind of related to that, should there be any coaching shakeups in the SWAC? This is the first time I've heard a commissioner in a long time speaking today about the SWAC championship, and he kind of outlined a bunch of stuff on like the progress of the SWAC, revenue being up, viewership, attendance, all those different numbers. I want to see if you guys can make some comments just based on one thing he said about there being interest behind the scenes from other FCS conferences wanting to schedule SWAC for potential bowl games in the future. I thought it was pretty interesting to see that. Maybe I just haven't heard the commissioner make any sort of comments throughout the season. And it's kind of weird to him to pop up towards the end of the season and kind of get some highlights. But just your thoughts.
All right, appreciate the call, man. I'm gonna say this. I think FCS schools would be crazy not to look into getting into a bowl game. SWAC or no SWAC. I think FCS should try to get into their own bowl games. I agree. I think the bowl game is a great idea. It makes you money instead of you having to pay out to be in the playoffs and everything like that. Let me say this about the SWAC and stuff like that. And I'm going to explain APR after I get off this question. I'm going to let Kofi go. Listen, bro, if the commissioner is smoking crack, if he think that anything other than Dion raised their profile, you're smoking crack, and it's some good crack. You got to understand what your leverage is about to walk out the door. And you have to figure out a way. This is what he said on the conference call. He said HBCU Go is supposed to be the SWAC network. Now make this make sense to me. How is a third party that does not do revenue sharing with you, that does not do profit sharing with you, that has paid you a certain amount of money to own your content, how is that supposed to be the SWAC network? Make that make sense, because I'm not going to go into all that. All I'm saying is this. It's smart for FCS to get into bowl games. The SWAC commissioner is smoking crack if he thinks it's anything other than Dion and Jackson State that has raised your profile. Go ahead, Kofi.
Yeah, just really with that, everything that Scotty just said, I'm in full agreement with. Dion had an awful lot to uplift had a whole lot, just about, I would say 95% of the profile of the SWAC going to the next level came from Dion. The other 5% came from JSU basketball, the women's basketball team. And the amount of quality wins. Now, what's good right now is the men's basketball teams in the SWAC are performing pretty well out of conference. And if they can make a reasonable run in the NCAA tournament to get to the Sweet 16 or win at least one round in the NCAA tournament, it would definitely bode well, especially, or even if we get a couple of teams in the NIT. But you definitely have to look at the current structure that FCS has and look at how our teams can monetize the brands that we have in FCS and maximize it to its top or utmost level, because playoffs ain't gonna do it.
So let me say this. I'm gonna get into this with APR. All right, I'm not an expert, but I'm just gonna tell you what APR is from what I've been explained to. APR is academic progress report, or academic progress retention, or it's like you moving up to get your progress towards your degree, right? So are you getting enough credits to get to a sophomore? Are you getting enough credits to be Thank you. Are you getting enough credits to become a junior? Are you getting enough credits to become a senior, right? So APR is like this. When a football kid comes into your school, right, he is on your APR. If he transfers, right, to another school, he is still on your APR for a good amount. I think it's for at least a year, if I'm not mistaken. I can be wrong. I think it's for a year. If the kid leaves your school and does not go to another school, you take a hit on your APR. So, with the spring, right? Ooh, shoot, run out of pipe.
You're correct. Academic progress rate.
You know what I'm saying? So with the spring, when Dion got rid of all those kids in the spring, all those kids hit Jackson State's APR. When he did it again with the offensive lineman for Jackson State last year, all those kids hit his APR. Where Jackson is hoping to do is that, what you hope is that they go to another school and continue their academic progress, right, towards their degree. That's why you rather get grad transfers, because they don't have an APR. They get the 1 year, they already graduated, they come in and they get out. All right? So that's how that works. It's not a graduation rate. It's not none of that. It is your academic progress towards your degree. And if you get kids that are leaving out and not continuing their education, or going to another school and leaving that school and dropping out, it affects your APR. All right, just giving you a heads up on that. 3408 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
Yes, I'm calling. My big question has always been for a while. When will
SWAC be ready to compete with teams outside of the SWAC? And I'm calling out the Southland Conference. When will we be able to beat them on a consistent basis in the SWAC? And let me not leave the MEAC out, because you had teams that went to the Big South. When will the teams did those teams dominate in the Big South that left the MEAC? Are we ready to compete in a FCS playoff?
I think I appreciate the question. What I think is this: if you're not preparing for if you're not thinking about the playoffs, you'll never be ready for the playoffs. If you're not recruiting for the playoffs, you'll never be. Because with anything, you have to do it to get, like, for FAMU, that experience is for Willie, for the kids that played that game. That's an experience you can't coach that. It just, because the momentum for the game, the one and done aspect of the game, every play matters. Like, there's a different level when you get into the playoffs of just understanding. I don't think the SWAC will be ready, because you got to schedule better competition outside to even be ready for an FCS playoffs. And that's why I keep saying, I think the SWAC should do this. The SWAC should schedule for the playoffs and fall back on the Celebration Bowl, right? The Celebration Bowl ain't going nowhere. It's always going to be there. You always got to play your conference games. If you win your conference, you walk your ass to the SWAC championship, to the Celebration Bowl. That's great. But you should prepare as if you're playing in the playoffs or trying to go for an at-large bid. What you got, Coach?
Oh, I totally agree with that. I think that, the speed of playoffs, the retention rate, the cutthroat nature of playoffs, the finality of playoffs is a big deal. The speed of the game is at a totally different level come playoff time, because every play counts. And if you're not playing teams that regularly compete at that level, you don't maintain or play with that level of intensity that winning playoff games demands of you. So you don't have that leeway. That being said, talent-wise, I believe that the SWAC can. What our team found out early on in the playoffs last year is there are other elements that come to playoff because of the finality of it. We trying to win. So guess what? On fourth down, we think we about to kick a field goal. We going to do a fake because we see something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we going to do it again in the middle of the game because you haven't made any adjustments with the looks that you're presenting us. So they look at everything, the way that the things that the coaches, the attention to detail that comes, with playoff play really does matter. And, I would like to see us again. I think most of the SWAC has stepped up. The problem as far as like with some of the schools is that they've scheduled so many years in advance and signed contracts that to get out of those contracts to do something else would not be cost effective.
And I want to use an example like North Carolina Central, right? If they didn't win their MEAC, right? If Howard was going to the Celebration Bowl, they probably would have been in the playoffs because of the way they scheduled. Now, a lot of people are like, Scotty, they only got 5 or 6 conference games. Well, we get that. And so they got to play like 4 or 5 crazy out of conference games. But they set it up and it failed really well for them, winning those games and competing in those games and set them up. So if they did miss out, they 9 times out of 10 would have probably walked into a playoff bid and things like that. Go ahead, Kof.
Yeah. So, somebody asked, what is FAMU going to do with their open date, right? Come next year, what's going to happen with it? Well, a lot of that has to do with what's going to happen with the OBC because we don't know. To be honest, if they're going to keep it Labor Day weekend, if they're going to move it. So that's going to have a ton to do with it. The other thing is going to be, what we're looking at. Obviously with everything that happened, I think Elon has an open date. Furman has an open date going into next year as well. I'm hoping that Mercer does. If Mercer does, that would be absolutely perfect. That'd be a perfect matchup. It's right up the street. FAMU and Mercer would be a dynamic game. So, but it's going to be, I want to say interesting to see what our AD comes in with and what her philosophy is going to be and what kind of conversations she and our coach are going to do. But right now, as you can see, there's a lot to, there's a lot of moving parts that come along with that. Are we going to have to look for a new coach, come January, right in the middle of all of this stuff? So, we don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse just yet until we know exactly what we got. I don't think Coach Simmons is leaving, but he could. So
I heard his contract is up December 30th. Like he's on his last year of his deal. If I'm not mistaken.
Next year.
Next year? Okay.
Yeah.
He has one more deal. Okay, cool. 64-55 coming up. Hey, caller, you live.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, this is Lexus from Atlanta. First, I just wanted to say I took the liberty of looking at your previous show that I missed earlier today.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you talked about the show, the statement that Dion made, I took the liberty to go listen to the whole thing. I think Dion has an offer in his pocket that he ain't crazy enough to sit on that show and tell nobody that he got. And I think he's leaving. I mean, everybody talk about Dion don't need the money, Dion don't need the money. I remember when Dion, I'm in Atlanta. I used to go to a Falcons game and then go to the Atlanta Fulton County State and go to a Braves game and see him out there too. It was the most ridiculous thing I ever seen, but I enjoyed every bit of it because he was entertaining on both sides. So, but that's been a while. That was when Jesus was a baby. So I don't know how he spends his money, how he lives his life. And just because he got money don't mean he don't want some more.
Facts.
That's how millionaires become billionaires. So I think he's leaving. I don't know if it's Colorado. I don't know where he's going, but I don't think he would talk about it till everything is over. Not just this SWAC championship, but the other bowl game, the Celebration Bowl game. I just think he would be intelligent enough not to have that conversation because he keeps saying, when I listened to him talk, he kept saying, I want to keep the main thing the main thing. He didn't even want to talk to the reporters, kept trying to get him to talk about it, and he didn't want to talk about it. But my question is when, I just think when, and this is just an opinion, we'll find out when the time is right. Dion leaves. I noticed you mentioned Cadillac Williams, but said he would not even consider it. I'm just curious what both of you brothers think about Cadillac not getting the head coaching job at Auburn. Is he not resume ready? Is he not? I don't know him, so I'm just asking. I know that he was just backfilling, and because they fired the coach in the middle of the season. And then on the side, I'm just curious to know, did Sean Puffy ever give Jackson State that $1 million he promised on some award so he was going to get, or was he just running his mouth? That's all I want to know, fellas. I'll let both of you all answer, and I'll hang up.
Thank you, Mel. Well, let me say about Diddy, take that. I don't know if he paid that. Okay? I don't know. I am not going to speak on Sean Puffy Combs. Okay? We already know. Listen, when you get in business with Bad Boy, you just never know where that can lead to. Okay? You be in a contract, and next thing you know, you be paying Diddy $1 million. So I don't know, but I digress. You hear anything about that P. Diddy?
Yeah. I ain't heard that he paid that money yet. I ain't seen no big checks or nothing. I just heard a lot of hearsay. But I do believe that the stars have lined up, like the Snoop Dogs and all of them have given Jackson State a ton of money that they would never have received if Dion had not been there. Tons of resources, all of that stuff. What was we talking about? Got me sidetracked.
She also asked about Cadillac and why he didn't get the
offer.
Okay.
He doesn't have the resume yet to run an Auburn program. And Auburn is still very much Auburn. There's a lot of people that don't look like Cadillac that run that program, and they're not going to turn that program into somebody that hasn't, never really ran a whole football team the entire year. So that's that with that. But Cadillac has proven himself to be a dynamic personality. I think he can definitely lead a program. He speaks the language of this generation that's coming up. I see him being a motivator, and much of being a head coach has to deal with structure and putting together a competent enough staff that you'll be able to maintain victories both on and off the field. So All of that, I think that they just decided they were more comfortable going with somebody that has proven to have a resume on some level, and they decided to go that way.
And does illegal activity, but that's neither here nor there, because we all know if a black person did the same illegal activity, he wouldn't have another chance. Anyway, my question is to this, right? If Deion leaves, does the pregame show follow? Does it become the Boulder show? Does it become the Buffalo show? I'm just asking. That's a real question, because listen, Neely was kissing this man on the forehead. There's a connection there. Okay, there's a bond. There's a bond. There's a bond. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's a possibility. Because everybody asking me if I'm staying. That's a reasonable question to ask the pregame show. Would they stay? That's all I'm saying. I just people asking people, are they staying? A lot of people, everybody checking people's credentials. You staying if Deion's? You staying? You staying?
And this is what you call a sidebar conversation.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, it's the man in the mirror, like Michael Jackson. I'm searching for the man in the mirror.
Ooh, that's hilarious.
Asking him to change. See, I won't do that to Tiger Talk, because they would.
I would have thrown a flag on the play, but I couldn't because it was illegal. It was illegal. It wasn't out of bounds. It's like a legal conversation. So I couldn't throw a flag on that one, but it was sure enough funny.
I'm just saying, it's a reasonable question. 55-31 coming to you.
Hello, Kofi and Scotty. This is KD from Atlanta.
What's up, man?
You guys are called today. Thanks for listening to me. Wanted to ask you, what's your take on the AD at Jackson State? In some ways, I kind of feel like he may have dropped the ball and even allowing a Deion situation to get to this particular point. I kind of feel like Deion had outcoached his contract last year, and then all of the stuff that he's done with the school for getting them football fields and upgrading the locker rooms and things like that. I felt like, well, I kind of feel like they waited to the last minute to let other schools interview him when they could have, went ahead and, cut the check early on and, kept them happy.
Sir.
So I wanted to see if I could get you guys' take on that.
Sir.
And then, go ahead.
He's like 2 years into a deal. Like, what do you, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, what you was going, he won one SWAC championship, you was going to be like, hey, let's pay him $1 million. Like, bro, you don't got it. If you would have had it, you would have paid it to him the first time. You don't got it.
And they can't compete with Colorado from a financial standpoint anyway.
You ain't got, bro, that's like somebody saying to you, right? You got a job, you making good money. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, man, that Lamborghini look real nice. You know what you're going to say? If I had it, I would get it. Like, I ain't got it.
I'm flat.
You ain't, Jackson State ain't got it.
I'm flat.
I get that. I get that. I do know that, a majority of the coaches on the FBS level, a lot of them are not getting paid solely through the school. They're being paid through collectives. So I don't know if he could have reached out to alumni to try to.
Money is not the issue. That's the money is not the issue, sir. With Jackson State, and Jackson State is not near able to compete with the University of South Florida or Colorado from a financial standpoint. They could offer him $200,000 more, or even $1 million, and they still would be $5 or $6 million off of what these schools would be willing to pay, not to mention what they would be able to offer his staff. So Jackson State's not near in that ballpark. The only thing that Jackson State really has to bank on is, just Deion basically saying, I'm staying because I want Shadur, blah, 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 or I'm staying for whatever other reason that he's staying. It won't be financially related.
Okay. And also wanted to ask you guys, if you were the AD at Jackson at this particular point, what could you possibly, or what do you think you they should do to try to get him to stay at Jackson? And then my last question would be in regards to the commissioner today. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the interview, but I didn't really get like any type of he said that the SWAC was doing well, but as far as like the refereeing this year, I thought that the refereeing sucked, and nobody really asked him that question. And just going forward, what do you guys think the SWAC should do to try to fix the referee?
I appreciate the call, man. Listen, when it comes to how to keep Deion's the only one that's gonna want, like, because he knows the financial situation. And Black Pilot, I agree with you, have a program to whatever, but you have to have people commit to that. You have to have people that really believe in the program and really a lot of people do a lot of talk. A lot of people show up to the games. They want to have all the fun. But when the rubber meets the road and they got to come out their pocket other than their own personal gratification, it doesn't happen. Now, could Ashley Robinson start a keep Deion fund? I believe he could. I believe if he has a keep Deion fund and it puts on the program, I think he could probably raise $1 million to keep Deion. Maybe 1.5 or 2 million. I believe it's possible. So, but at the end of the day, Deion's gonna have to want to come. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Stop watching these press conferences that are done in the dark with the SWAC. Okay? It's an all boys club. That's my guy. You didn't see how that's all they do. Oh, yeah, Dr. Cavill. Yeah, that's what it's all a boys club. It's my friends. My friends are nice to me. They don't ask me hard questions. They like who I am. I like them. That's all that is. It is a front. It is not a real press conference. I don't give a damn what you're talking about. It's not a real press conference. It's just that simple. Because if you take the people out that you don't like or you don't like their questions, it's not a real press conference. It is literally, you're nice to me, I'm nice to you, ask me a nice question, and we go from here. It sucks. They never ask the hard questions.
Now, to really respond to that whole refereeing thing, there's a lot that can be done. I think, additional training is obviously needed. Me personally, I would like to do background checks to see if these jokers have any connections to these schools that they call the games to. And, I would be willing to open it up for additional training and see what we can do to bring some other people in or some type of grading system. I'm not sure if that's already in effect, but I think that should be made public so that there'll be more accountability with it. If a team grades out at less than 60%, you have to look at, why is this team still getting a check? It's like, no, we need to do something about, let's get another team. So I would first want to see more validated training. I want to see more documented training so that people can, see where they're getting their training or honing in or improving their expertise. That's necessary if you're going to get it to the next level. But there needs to be more public accountability when it comes to our refereeing. It's obviously an epidemic.
All right, 0974 coming to you.
Yes. I've been, this is CJ in Greensboro, North Carolina. And they was talking about the Celebration Bowl of my Aggie. We've been talking about the Celebration Bowl. They are talking about opening the Celebration Bowl up to the best 2 black schools to play football. That's not SWAC, and the EMEAC is like, if A&T don't win the Colonial and they're the second or the third team, a way that is being explained to us about the Celebration Bowl, A&T will be able to go to the Celebration Bowl. Also, with Deion, I don't see Deion coaching in a cold weather. You think about, he's from Florida. I don't think he'd go to Colorado. He might go to Central Florida, but I do not see him going where any snow is.
We played football in Baltimore and DC.
Listen to it.
He played football in Baltimore and DC.
Let me ask you guys a question, and I'm asking it to the chat because you guys just go on here and just say the wildest stuff. Like y'all really don't think about your life. Like I try to dumb it down so people can relate to it in their life. If you were getting paid $100,000 and you were living in Miami, Florida, and somebody from Oregon would say, "Hey, we'll pay you $2 million to come up here and do the same job," are you going to say, "I don't like trees. I don't like the rain. It rains too much in Oregon. It's, oh God. Like those trees are really big in Oregon. You know, who lives in Oregon? Who wants to be?" No, Bamas. You guys are going to be like, $2 million? Shit. I'll buy my ass a plane ticket to come back to Florida on the summers. Stop playing with me, guys. Like use your life, okay? I rather you guys put yourself in the position just as a human. Like, as a human, how would I feel if somebody came and offered me 3 times my salary to go move somewhere that I like to do? I like to coach. Come on, man. Y'all got to be out. Y'all Bamas. Y'all gotta be smarter than this. Y'all gotta be smarter than this. He said I'm buying the coat. Absolutely. You're gonna be like, man, I'm gonna give me a
umbrella.
I'm gonna give me a nice little. I'm gonna get the best damn coat. I'm gonna get the best damn umbrella, and I'm gonna be out there making $2 million. Come on, man. 7612 coming to you. Hey, calling you live.
What's going on, Scotty? It's Eric from Jersey.
What's up, man?
I had one comment and then 2 questions. That one caller with the Tom Brady question, the 6th-round pick question, why he sound like one of them Saudi females that used to call Kevin Samuels just to try to make him mad? I was like, your point has no relevance at all. But anyways, one question I have for you is if Deion leaves, do you think that JSU is at risk of becoming like a white elephant? Basically, like once he leaves, it's basically all the air gets sucked out of the program. And then the other second part of that question is, who would you go back to the well and hire a celebrity if he decided to leave?
Say that first part again. Say that first part of the question again. I missed it.
So so basically a white elephant is like what happens with the Olympics. Like they hype it up, they build up the stadium, they do all this other stuff, but then once the Olympics leaves and all the hoopla is over, basically, you know, it becomes, if you look at white elephants and documentaries and stuff like that, they talk about the stadiums become like places, nothing gets kept, like it almost becomes a homeless shelter, basically. I'm not saying it would go that bad, but basically once he leaves, they basically all the air gets sucked out of the program. Do you think that JSU will become at risk of becoming one of those situations where it's basically like he's gone, so now why are we talking about JSU?
That's real. I appreciate the call. Listen, man, let's not play this game. Let's not listen, bro. Like, okay. I'm feeling really bad because I have Jackson State stuff on. But y'all Bama's gonna be like at the bottom of the map. Like you guys are gonna go from the top to the bottom. You're gonna look like Cleveland when LeBron leaves. Okay, that's what just think about it like that. What did Cleveland look like when LeBron left? Okay, and it's not to say that you won't have fans. It's not to say that people won't show up to the games. It's just that you're not hot anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're like Frankie Lyman when he comes back and he's like, I can still do it. I can still do it. And he tries to do the split. He's like, well, I can't do the split, but I can still sing. And you're like, when you were a child, you know what I'm saying? Like you were a childhood star. You're not as popular as you was before. You're not as hot as you were. So let's not act like that won't be the case. You won't be as hot as you was. Okay. Now, I agree with Mr. Campbell, depending on who you hire, you know what I'm saying? You could come back. You can still be hot. You can still be relevant. But if you don't get that hire right, if you go with a T.C. Taylor, if you go with a Vincent Dancy, if you go with a Coach Flea, y'all Bama's going to be LeBron leaving Cleveland. I'm just trying to tell you. Well, what you got, Cole?
Oh, I totally agree. I think the thing about Jackson State is Jackson State has been successful before. So it's not like impossible for them to be successful, but there's only one Deion Sanders on the planet. So depending on who they bring in is largely going to affect what's going on. But if their AD is who I think he is, I'm sure he has to have a short list of individuals. He has to have had conversations with Deion whenever that time does come. What direction do I need to go? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to look to be our next head coach?
Yeah. And listen, guy, if you don't listen, man, y'all Bama's be out here. Y'all don't be thinking. Do you think Coach Flea is going to have the same players that came in with Deion? They came for Deion.
No. What is Flea's real name? Most of them don't know. Now, I knew because I was in the MEAC when he was at Howard, and he's from Miami. So, but nobody knows. But like, Flea on the phone, who is Flea? Somebody named Flea on the phone for you.
Stop it, man. Y'all Bama's be killing me.
Look, they're going to have a commercial for Jackson State football. Flea and some dog fur, some guy like that. I don't know. It's a no.
Oh man. 8047 coming to you. Hey, calling you live.
God is calling me. Hey, what's up, Scotty? What's up, Kofi?
What's up?
Yo.
Hey, this is FBS Kenny. And so I'm gonna make my point. I got 3 points I really want to make.
All right, go ahead.
And I just want to hear what you guys think about them. All right, so the first point I want to make is, a lot of Jackson State fans aren't being realistic. There's a great chance Deion can leave. It may be not for Colorado, but it could be for somewhere else. So you got to look at what's been going on. Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for USC. He took a lot of recruits with him, and he took a lot of their best players. Gary Fickle just left Cincinnati for Wisconsin. A lot of kids just started entering the transfer portal. And then, of course, recruits started decommitting. So the reality of the situation is Jackson State's going to have to be realistic. They're probably going to lose about 10 players from when Deion leaves. I'm just entering the portal alone. I'm talking about like Willie Gaines, Coleman, probably Trevante Rucker, just for the receivers.
Keep going.
I don't think they're going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose Wilkinson because he already transferred, so he had the red shirt if he goes back into the portal. And there, of course, obviously Shador. They're going to lose Shador. And we're just talking, that's just offense alone. Defense, they're probably going to lose the whole secondary.
Facts.
They're probably going to lose the whole secondary.
Facts.
So, I think Jackson State fans got to be realistic on that. The next coach is going to have to replace a lot of talent, man, a lot of talent. And then the fact of the matter is the transfer portal is not going to be that easy. The transfer portal has been a really good thing to Jackson State under Prime. It's not going to be really, a great thing. So that's point number one. Tell me what you think about that before I go to point number 2.
I agree. Go to point number 2. Keep it rolling. You good. I
All right.
agree.
So point number 2, and this is even, I think something that I really want to hear from you guys. I think if Deion does leave, the blockbuster hire, and this is tell me I might be crazy when I say this, but Grambling brought in, when they brought in Hugh Jackson, they tried to bring in Art Browse as offensive coordinator. What about Jackson State bringing in Art Browse?
Next.
To replace Prime.
Next. No. Go ahead. Next.
All right. And so, and then my last point. So my last point right here, point number 3. And this is just once again, tell me what you guys think about this. But, obviously, Jackson State, everybody's kind of hoping and praying that he stays and whatnot. If Deion does stay, what do you think would really be something that Jackson State can give him that, just keeps him in Jackson for another couple of years?
Appreciate the call, man. For me, listen, I think at the end of the day, it's the freedom to do what Deion wants to do, right? There is a level of free. Listen, nobody is going to question Deion at Jackson. Nobody. You're not going to question him. You're not going to challenge him. There's a unlimited freedom that he just has at Jackson that he won't have at a PWI. He will not have the same luxury that he has at Jackson. He won't be able to just barstool everything and record everything and have videos everywhere. He can't move the same at a PWI. So it's that alone that if you want to keep that's what you really need to bargain with. But go ahead, Kof.
But in addition to that, who is the brand representative for Colorado? Is it Under Armour or Nike?
Nike, but I think they're on their last year.
Okay. Because that also would be a negotiating tool and tactic with that, depending on what's going on with that. Because, Dion is clearly Under Armour. So all of that would definitely matter in terms of it. But like you said, I mean, literally he is very powerful, not only in the city of Jackson, but also the state of Mississippi, in terms of the freedom and what he is able to do and the total autonomy that he has over the football program at Jackson State. I'm not sure if he's going to have that same level anywhere else.
He won't. Now, let me say this. You'll get more autonomy as you win. So if he wins and starts dominating, he gets more and more autonomy and everything like that. But it is what it is. But let me see. I saw something in the comments I wanted to address. Listen, guys, if you think Mike Minter is going to leave Campbell for Jackson State, you're smoking crack. Like, why do y'all think that Jackson's an upgrade for all these? This dude is getting paid really well, and they have allowed him to build a program. They literally, at Campbell, they just let him do what he does. Now, when they fire him, then maybe. If he gets fired, then maybe. But he's not just going to leave Campbell and come to Jackson. Jackson's there. First of all, who would want to replace Dion? That's a hard thing in itself, is replacing Deion Sanders. That's one. And two, you guys don't even have the same facilities as Campbell. You don't even have that. Come on, man. What are we y'all just be throwing out names. Oh, Eric Bieniemy. Yeah.
Did Campbell have a winning season this year?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so. I think they were 4-6 or 4-7 or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all just out here throwing out names. You know what I'm saying? Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich. Your job is not that good. If you're being honest, the Jackson job is Dion made it look attractive, right? But it's only attractive if you're winning. If you're not winning at Jackson, it's not attractive. What is it about Jackson that's attractive?
They're thinking that Mississippi Memorial Stadium is really attractive, even though it's not on Jackson State's campus and that sort of thing.
I don't get it, bro. I don't understand it. 1027 coming to you.
How you doing, Scotty?
What's up?
How you doing, Kofi?
Hey.
I got a couple questions. How much of a say-so do you think Shedeur has in his father leaving?
I think he has like any kid, you're gonna listen to him. You know what I mean? My son's like, Dad, I want this for Christmas. You're like, oh, okay. I'm gonna listen to you because I gotta listen to you, but I don't think it's whatever Shedeur says that he doesn't want to do. I don't think he can move like that. I think he trusts his dad.
I was kind of getting that vibe, but I was gonna say that it does have to weigh in effect, because if and I hate to say this, if Shedeur doesn't feel like he's ready for something like Colorado, which I don't see him saying something like that, I think you just go, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Then I think that he would keep it real with his father and tell him that he's not ready for something like that. And my next question was, in the SWAC, if Dion leaves, does that, and if Willie Simmons leaves, who would really be the favorite in that situation? And that's all I got. You guys have a great night.
I'm gonna go something what Perry White said, and I thought it was pretty profound. He said if Southern can get into the championship with all the mistakes that they were making and all the bad coaching decisions, he said if he could do that with what he's doing now, if he could fix it, it should really make him the favorite going forward. And I agree with that. If Dooley could get out of his own way and stop being so stubborn and stop making some of the dumb decisions that he's doing, I think they could easily be the favorite going forward. If FAMU and Dion both leave, I absolutely agree with that. What you got, Kof?
Man, people just be lying, talking about Shadur was considering Alabama and just Shadur was going to FAU for a reason, guys. You know, both programs, you know, obviously, preferably both of them stay put. But if they don't, you know, a lot of it is just going to come down with who is next in the seat. You can't make any overall predictions till it's confirmed who's sitting in that seat to be the next leader of each respective programs. So there's not really a whole lot you can speculate all you want to, but until you know really who's in that seat, you're not really going to have a whole lot to say or do. But both programs are in much better shape than they were years ago.
99-93 coming to you.
Hello, Scotty and Kofi. How y'all doing this evening?
What's up, Doc?
You got it, man. First of all, man, I'm gonna make a comment and then y'all can reply to the comment. But basically tonight, both of y'all are prophets, and what everybody is saying tonight about if he was to leave, what would happen and all that, that leads me to say that I just don't believe that he would go just yet because he hasn't done enough. Like you said something in your last video on one of your other shows, you said JSU gave him an opportunity to prove himself that he can coach. And I just don't think Dion has matched that back yet. And that's going to be backlash that will come back on him because you haven't gave them enough time to build something that can culturally migrate into something else if he was the lead. And I do believe that they will have somebody in place or ideals of people that can place him with the same magnitude, but it would never be Dion. But I just don't think he has been there long enough. He has one SWAC championship. He lost the Celebration Bowl. Now this year, he can win the SWAC championship and the Celebration Bowl, and that's still not enough. He just started getting other people coming in the transfer portals to have an opportunity to think about coming to Jackson like 3, 4, 5 stars. So that has just started. So he's building a culture. And you're right, if he left right now, the city could drop, the funding that's coming into the community, coming into the school, the players leaving, that can drop. And guess who's going to get the backlash? Dion. They're going to be like, look at Dion. He left once he got the good opportunity. He left that school. He haven't even paid dues enough yet. So I believe from that like next year, Shadur, for one, he's not ready to go to no Power 5 and start as no quarterback. And he still has the number 1 draft pick, Hunter. He's still being cultivated. So I know that he needs another year at Jackson State as a quarterback for Shadur. And then next year could be a good year for Hunter. But I still don't say after that year it would be a good chance for him to go. He could, but it could be in another situation. But it could be better things in place.
Okay.
So I just think from that perspective, what do you think?
We got it. Listen, what is enough? That's what I need to understand. What is enough for Dion to do to be like, you're good to go, Dion? That's what I want to understand.
Okay. From my perspective, I just believe when he came in, he said this. He said, I want to win championships. I want to win Celebration Bowls. I want to dominate. I want to change the culture, not just with the school, but I want to change it with the community and the city. He started working on that, but there's still woes and challenges, but he just haven't got there. So I believe another 2 years, maybe 3 years, he can have that place in a place to where it's rolling, and he built a culture, and another coach that he would implement to take his place could come in there, and the players will believe enough to stay and build that because the culture is being built. There's millions of dollars that are coming in, and then Deion may have still some hold with Jackson State, you know, as far as helping them to grow and things. But I think another 2 or 3 years. I just believe that myself. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think at least another 2 years because he's just started. And Scotty and Kofi, y'all right. If he left right now, Jackson State would be a laughing stock. It would be a laughing stock the next year.
Sir, listen, Doc. It wouldn't matter when Deion leaves. It doesn't matter if he stayed there 7 years. As soon as Deion leaves, Deion is the magnet. He's the magnet that draws everything. Jackson State on its own would never draw the talent that it has. It will never do that on its own. It will only get it onesies and twosies, and it won't draw the level of talent that has accumulated in the time period of Deion. And when you said he's won championships, he's done that. You actually said he's changed the culture. He's done that. So I don't understand.
Not enough.
What is enough? What is enough?
I'm talking about on the, like you said in one of your other videos, you said that Jackson State gave him an opportunity. Without that opportunity, nobody would know what Deion could do outside of a high school level. And I just think that he hasn't repaid Jackson State enough to be able to lead yet. I'm talking about just from a heart condition and being who Deion is as far as the man of God that he is and what he said he wanted to do. That I'm coming from.
Doc, stop talking. That's not the question, okay? The question is, what is enough? I don't care about whatever else you're talking about. The question to you is, what is enough? You said he didn't done enough. What is enough?
Okay, what would be enough to me? I say, you want me? I'm gonna answer the question. What would be enough? A couple of more SWAC championships, a couple of more celebration bowls. That'll be maybe 2 or 3 of those. And basically, the funds are coming into school. And I think that would be a great thank you to leave on something like that. That's just what I believe. I'm answering your question correctly, right?
Okay. Is that a culture? Like, because when you say impact the culture, that doesn't affect everybody that Deion wins celebration bowls. I think Deion has impacted the culture in a major way in the sense of having everybody. What Deion has done, in my personal opinion, is told everybody, you guys can afford a 3-piece suit. Stop buying sweats. Stop buying hoodies. Go in the store and get you a damn 3-piece suit. And everybody coming out like, man, we do look good. I never been tailored before. That's changing the culture. That's changing expectations. That is changing standards, right? So him winning a celebration bowl is not changing a standard. Him winning another SWAC championship is not changing a standard. Deion has already changed standards for HBCU. So when you say culture, that is not implied to Jackson. So I'm going to ask you again, what in the culture should he do enough of? What is enough in the culture aspect for everybody?
Okay, thank you for giving me understanding. The culture aspect is, I believe, just in the culture of bringing more people together, just in the HBCU way of the school, of helping them to grow, knowing that this could be done without him being there. Now that more funds coming into the school, you're talking about a couple of more years, there's millions of dollars or more coming into the school and the culture. And I just think that he, outside the championships, he would build an imprint that I think that could be sustainable. But it is right, it's correct, if they bring the next person in, the successor to him has to be right. You're right. Or it can go all the way down. Nobody's going to be Deion, but I believe they can bring somebody else, or they could potentially, the players could buy into one of the coaches that are there and be like, you know what, we go stand for something because Deion putting us in the culture. We are the brand. We don't have to go to another school. We can win without Deion being here because the brand and the culture started in the locker room. So that can be a way, after a couple of more years of being successful at this, and him just implementing what he does in the culture.
All right, appreciate the call, Doc. Listen, man, I just disagree. Listen, let me tell you something that I think if Dion stays and he can make this happen, I think this aspect would change the culture forever. If Dion can take the college football playoffs and bring it to HBCU and they have their own bowl game system in a triangle to where you work towards the Celebration Bowl, I think that is culture changing. I think that will now become the standard of FCS. Just like they all admire the Celebration Bowl, if you add that second level to incorporate HBCUs in the D1 area that can all play for one of these bowls, I think that immensely changes the game, in my personal opinion. I think that's really the only thing that Dion can honestly do from what he's already done to really change the level and take it to a whole nother game, is bring the white stuff, down to HBCU and be like, ours is better. That's just me personally. 3143 coming to you.
Scotty, what's up, baby?
What's up, BJ? Talk to me.
Man, I can't call. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something. It's just being real. It's being objective. I try to be objective about these things. People want Dion to be more than what he is. They want him to be a football coach. They want him to be a commissioner. They want him to be a city councilman. They want him to be a mayor. They want him to be a governor. Dion wasn't sent to fix all of your problems. He was sent to coach a football team, all right, and build a program. And to this point, he's done that. He's built a hell of a program, undefeated in the SWAC the last 2 years, ranked in the top 5 in FCS. We're talking about historically, this Jackson State team, when we talk about it historically, we're going to talk about this team with the 88 and 87 teams, as far as like the greatest teams in Jackson State history. And we're in the midst of their run right now. Man, if he decides to go right now, he can do that. That's his right. And the thing about it, man, is Dion's doing it the right way. If he decides to go, he's doing it the right way, because we've seen coaches say one thing and do the complete other and not meet with their team and just leave. And he's not doing that. And this is another thing. I think that president, athletic directors, and also, and everyone is going to pay attention to what's going on here. Because I just listened to a few callers. I jumped on, I listened to a few callers and said, man, if he leaves and all these players are leaving, and my question is this: if he leaves and all the players leave, do they love Jackson State or do they love Dion? Because at the end of the day, the brand got to be Jackson State. No matter who's your coach, the school has to be the brand. And if I bring in somebody, a celebrity, let's say I bring in a celebrity, it's going to be real good while we're riding high. But what you're telling me is when we leave, we're going back to shit because nobody want to be there. And this is how you get in situations where you say, hey, man, Jackson, they got all this talent, but they barely skating by Alcorn. They barely skating by all these people. And let me put people on game. There was a lot of cats on them Jackson State teams when Dion got there that bled, sweat, cried, breathed Jackson State from the time that they was born, and they was let go because they weren't good enough, right?
That's fact.
And if you was a Jackson State fan or whatever, you sat back and you let this shit happen and you didn't say nothing. So if he just so happens to leave and the other boys just came in because he was Dion, and now them boys that you had that bled, sweat, cried, slept with Jackson State covers, they gone, and now you got to rebuild. Now you go see what that shit means when you go recruit, and now you got to go find kids that's willing to bleed, sweat, die for you, for the school, for the brand, not for the coaches, because coaches are interchangeable, man. They come in and out like every day. But you got to find somebody that will put it on for that block J. And I think, man, it's pretty and it's nice while you riding high, but when them lights come on, that party over, ain't nothing fun about that. So I think we'll have a lot of people paying attention to that when you start talking about these celebrity hires Like I said, it's good when you're hot, when you're riding high. When the lights turn on, the party's over. Where you end up?
That's real, B.
Here's my take on it.
That's real, B. I appreciate the call as always, my boy.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna take 2 more calls and we getting up out of here. But listen, guys, let me explain something to y'all, man. This is a sports talk show. If you don't like the conversation, you don't have to listen. I keep listening. I keep telling y'all that, right? Because I keep seeing people in the chat talk about the game, talk about the game, talk about the game. What do you want me to talk about Bashawn McCray being ass? Okay? How many times can I say Bashawn McCray is not good? How many times can I say that? Make that make sense. This is a sports show. This is a sports dialogue. If you don't like the conversation, move your ass along. Okay? You don't have to stay to listen. It is a place where people can come, call in, talk whatever they want, and we discuss it. If they on topic, great. If they're not, good. If you look at the top of the screen, it says Offscript. Okay? It doesn't say HBCU Sports Show. It says Offscript. So we talk about everything on here. Okay? So if you don't like it, move on. Okay? Move on. That's all I'm saying. Jesus Christ, bro. Y'all be, oh my God, can you talk about the game? Go call some of your friends and talk about the game. All right, I'm taking 2 more callers. I'm going to take 1192 and I'm going to take Mr. Campbell. Everybody else, sorry. You guys going to have to call back in. All right, some other time. So Mr. Campbell and 1192. All right. Thank you guys for calling. I apologize. If you guys were members, you guys would have got to skip the line. So make sure if you call in, become a member. Put your last 4. If you're a member, you want to call in, you're still good. I'm going to say that right now. If you're a member and you want to call in, you're good with me. You can call in still. But if you're not a member, you got to get off the line. I'm just telling you that right now. If you're not a member, get off the line, except Mr. Campbell and 1192. All right? If you're not a member, get off my line, except those 2 calls. 1192 coming to you. Hey, caller, you live.
Scotty, what's up, baby?
What's goody, man?
It's Hector, man.
What's up, Hector?
Hey, man, you ready to hit that bullet button you got?
Talk to me.
Man, they talking about changing the culture. 4 years ago, that stadium sits 60,000 people. How many people was in that stadium?
Less than
3.
Okay. So changing the culture is that man put 66,000 people in that stadium every year. He done told you what he wanted. The stadium is crap. It's hard to get people in. That Gulf Coast Bowl was garbage. He don't want to go to Tennessee and play in them bowl games. And if y'all not answering what that man is preaching, he gone.
Simple.
He out of there, man. It's simple. He already changed the culture, and he even said it. Merge the MEAC with us, and let's build this super duper black HBCU school football program. Because Hampton already left to the Big South, and North Carolina A&T left to the Big South. And the SWAC, they better be glad A&T left to the Big South, because A&T was handling shit in that bowl. Right or wrong?
That's right.
A&T was kicking ass. They was putting running backs in the NFL. Tariq Cohen, all them boys was coming out of A&T. And a lot of people don't know, I'm from North Carolina. Campbell sits between Raleigh and Fayetteville. It's a little hole-in-the-wall school. Mentor, he doing a damn good job with that program. He ain't coming to Jackson State. He know what Deion did there. But he done changed the culture. Y'all done had that man taking baths in pool water. You can't get him clean water. If they don't meet them demands quick, that man is out of there, man.
Sounds simple to me, Hector.
And it's simple as that, man. Like, he's done told y'all. How do they go to a Gulf Coast Bowl game and put them people in a stairwell? His team. He go play Eddie George, kick his ass twice. He don't want to do that no more.
Amen. Thank you, man.
All right, Mr. Campbell, coming to you. All right, Mr. Campbell.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. First of all, let's stop this fallacy with Campbell. Campbell has never won over 8 games since Mike Mentor's been there. So let's stop that, okay? I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but they haven't been winning no 9 or 10 games. So stop the cap on that. Second of all, for the North Carolina A&T, y'all had your run, and you still got your ass whooped by FAMU. So stop it, okay? Let's just stop it. Now, let's get Scotty. Thank you for the show. But here is the thing. This is what bothers me. Deion did something great for HBCUs. But I'm going to point right down I-20 who had a legend, Eddie Robinson. But guess what? There have been 3 coaches since Eddie Robinson that have won Black College National Championships. So you can't just say that it's over and done with. And for all my Jackson folks, y'all know better than that. What Deion has done, and if I'm Ashley Robinson, I'm going to say, look at what we got. This same thing happened to Boise State. Every 3 or 4 years, Boise State was flipping out coaches. North Dakota State is doing the same thing. You have built something that now you can go actually get a good coach. Because you can say, look, we got a fan base that will support us. Because the fan base is going to support you if you win. You can say, hey, you know what? We can get players to come here. So this is what is crazy for people to sit back and say, oh, it's over with. No, it's not over with. You go and pull yourself up and go get another goddamn good coach like Grambling did. Grambling's gotten 3 of them. So don't say it can't happen. We don't die. Deion has done a great thing. It's all good. Good. So if he go to Colorado, God bless him. Because see, Deion was talking to white Jesus. He wasn't talking to black Jesus. See, white Jesus trick you. So if you want to believe all that Jesus told him to come to Jackson State, stop. He made a business decision. It was a good business decision for Deion to come to Jackson State because nobody else was going to hire him. It was a good business decision for Jackson State to hire him. So that's that. So we need to move on from that, man. It's just blowing me away.
How about?
With that being said, Scotty, I got one quick question for you. Have you heard of the Yams Challenge?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Scotty. Well, there is a challenge that's going out there now. And the lyrics actually really apply to what's going on with Deion at Jackson State. So I'm going to pull this Bible because I heard the Yams Challenge. Because, you know, as the bishop, I have to go out and keep up with the young folks when I'm laying hands. I got to know what they got going on. So now, with that being said, I think the Yams apply to what's going on. So this is for my folks in Jackson, what y'all need to do, what Deion is trying to tell y'all. So Deion is asking, can I get to the yams? Sweet, sweet yams. Show me the way. Because you know why? Deion's assistant coaches got bills to pay. So can he get to the yams? Sweet, sweet yams. Jackson State, show him the way. Because they got bills to pay. Now, Deion ain't trying to be broke for the rest of his life. He's trying to get his bankroll swole, no matter the price. So Deion got to shoot his shots. Got to make his layups. Got to get my pay stubs up. So you better pay up, Ashley Robinson. Because when I moved to L.A., actually, he going to Colorado. He ain't going that far. He going to get away from Uncle Sam. So I'm going to ask the question again. Can Deion get to the yams? The sweet, sweet yams.
Sweet, sweet.
Show Deion the way. Because Deion and his family got bills to pay. So we need to understand that this is about the yams, Scotty. Either you're going to get the yams from Colorado or you're going to get those sweet yams from the Delta. Now, I was going to believe my black folks that believe in black Jesus can come up with some more yams for Deion. Because Deion don't need the special yams. He just needs sweet yams. So that's what I want people to understand. Jackson said, you can do it. Give Deion a little something to think about. There's 1,000 y'all got $1,000. There go $1 million right there.
Damn.
That's about a whole bunch of yams in Jackson.
KJ know about 1,000 people with $1,000. I know KJ know about 1,000 people with $1,000.
There you go. So like I say, so I just want, I want to leave us with that good spirit to all my Jacksonians. Let's get them sweet yams up. Keep Dion over there at 1400 Lynch Street.
Sweet yams.
So, Scott, I wanted to give that Bible verse because we needed that because I saw some of people in Jackson, they're being confused and bewildered. This thing is messing with their minds. We got old folks trying to go in their piggy bank to give prime money. So I need everybody just to relax. It's going to be okay. If he leave, you get you another coach. You'll be all right. Y'all have a good night.
All right, appreciate it.
Bubba.
That's what I'm saying. So get the yams, KJ. Get to getting these yams. All right, Kofi, what you got coming up this week?
Hey, man, we got the ONG Strike Zone. So,
Nice.
yeah, we got stuff going on and everything with that. We got the volleyball NCAA tournament coming up. So these girls excited. Talk about the fight with our girls basketball team a little bit. And we're going to keep it moving.
All right. Hey, Reese, bro. See, that's why I can't stand black people, bro. They stay coming in late. Oh, bro, why you didn't put your number in when Mr. Campbell was talking? You gonna put it right when I close the call line. I close the call line now. Black people always gotta come to events late.
Next time, Reese. Next time.
Come on, man. God, dog. Y'all been killing me, man. So listen, guys, I'm gonna be doing. Oh shoot, tomorrow's Tuesday. I can't do a show tomorrow. I'll probably have to do a show tomorrow in the afternoon, like late in the afternoon, because me and Key have like this bride and groom meeting, like it's like the wedding ceremony meeting or something, whatever she calls it. Like I don't know, she calls it something. So it is what it is. Also, once again, if you guys want to support the wedding and the registry, you guys can go to Mr. and Mrs. Script.com to see what the registry is. I told you we ain't got no towels and no, listen, we ain't doing all that little toothpick stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no little stuff out here. All right. So that just is what it is. All right. Also, Wednesday, Mike Reed, Perry White, The Breakdown, BoomBox Classic Part 2.
That's gonna be good.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. You already know Thursday. Me and my boy Blue. You already know. And I'll be down at the SWAC Championship this weekend. Hopefully I can see some of you guys. Say what's up. If you're down there, say what's up. I'll be trying to do some interviews with some people. So if you see me, I might ask you some questions. Just trying to do something different while I'm down there. All right. But everybody, I appreciate your time. All right. Once again, it's called Offscript. Don't get mad if we don't stay on topic. It is what it is. So until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.